Yo, what's up, Cowboys Nation, man?
Oh.
Cowboys Nation, you in the building. If Cowboys Nation, you in the building right now, y'all see what's going on. Let me go ahead, light those chats up. Light those chats up, whether you're on Facebook,
Light them up.
Twitter, Instagram, I don't care where you at. YouTube, light those chats up, man. But hey, it's your boy J Tuck. As y'all see, we brought out all the big dogs in the Cowboys content community. We're doing this for y'all, Cowboys Nation, as we get ready for camp. So I'm going to go around. We're going to do introductions real quick, and we're going to dive in and do our thing, man. But I appreciate everyone. If you're watching all around the world, we're trying to shake the internet right now, cause an earthquake. So for those seeing me for the first time, your boy J Tuck, CFO Sports. You can follow me on all social media platforms at JTuck151, of course. Also hear me on the radio locally here in Kansas City on W810 Radio, WHB, ESPN Kansas City with my guy Darren Smith on the ship every Sunday morning. But next to me, man, I got a guy. This guy's one of the hardest workers in the Cowboys community, man. Real genuine dude. I talk to him every day. In the days when I'm not working, I can know I'm always going to get a call from this dude. So, hey, everyone, welcome Cowboys Nation. My guy, Mr. West Coast in the building. What's going on, Wes?
What it do, man? It's your boy West Coast, man. Mr. Run the Damn Ball. You already know what it is, man. Coming out from Southern California, man. If you're coming out here to training camp, I will be waiting for you at the door. You know what I'm saying? So look for me, man. You already know what it is. Let's go.
Yeah, man. He always out there at training camp, man, giving that live content. So we definitely appreciate you. And then next up, man, we got my guy, man. You ever want to watch some draft content? He does incredible work, man. He's out there killing it, making moves right now. My guy, Voch Lombardi, what's on, bro?
What's good, Voch? Volume. I don't want to be talking too long because the intro will be 30 minutes, you know what I'm saying? So,
fire though. And the intro's fire though.
Yeah, long resume, man. And then next, man, I got my guy, Boss Cowboy in the building, Boss Cowboy Sports. Some of the best film breakdown out there, man. What's going on with you, bro?
What's up, big dog? Hey, real quick, I'm gonna push your production skills. Can you blow me up?
What's up?
You know how you can make like one person?
Yeah.
I'm gonna push you today, big dog.
Here go boss.
I knew you could do it because I trust my dog. That's how y'all do me. He put us on the spot. Let's go. This Boss Cowboy Sports with your voice, man. I'm gonna keep it short too. Let's get it.
Let's go. There we go. All right, I got me pushing buttons out here.
You gotta work today, big dog.
We got
remember this.
Yeah, we got one of the OGs in the building, man. The voice, the legend, the myth himself, man. Law Nation, what's going on, my guy?
Man, what's up, everybody, man? It's good to be here, man. I love this moment. Hey, the production is unbelievable, man. The intro made me put on the shades, man, because I know it's going to be bright. The way you had the countdown and everything. Baby, that was nice, man. Hey, y'all can find me on LAW Nation everywhere, and you already know you're listening to nothing.
I had to put that together to get excited about the season, man. I had to put some fire together real quick.
Yeah. That was good, man. That was good.
Hey, that was fire.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate
it. Yeah.
Man, this guy is the top when it comes to the Cowboys community, man. And honestly, I said numerous times, if it wasn't for him, I would not be here right now because he was one of the people that kept reaching out to me. Like, yo, Tuck, you got to start, man. So my brother, man, Skywalker Steel, what's going on, bro?
I get big like Rome. What's good, y'all? Man. Had some fun up.
Yeah, man, well deserved. And you definitely have to know if you a Cowboys fan, and I know who this man is, man, because he definitely keeps the notification bell ringing. He's one of the hardest workers out there as well. My guy, Mark Holmes in the building. What's going on, bro?
Man, I tell you what, watching that intro, I'm ready to run through a brick wall right now. I literally am so hyped up. I am so happy to be here with all of my brethren and stuff out here, my man. Bosh, I got the mambo sauce ready for you again. I got the mambo sauce for you. Law, you know I got the good looking for you the next time you're in town and things.
Okay.
But, I am excited to just be ready, actually talking about practice, man. I'm so sick of all the off-season bullshit. The Cowboys are going to trade for this one. Cowboys are ass. Future, man, I'm just ready to be talking about football and can't wait to get out there to Oxnard with you guys, man.
Yeah,
we finally made it. It was a long time trying to get through this all season. We made it.
So, Mark, why does Law get liquor but I get condiments? You know what I'm saying?
You know you drinking the mambo sauce, dog. I had to buy a gallon jug every time. Bosh is coming to town. Oh shit, we got to get the gallon jug of that shit. You drinking that like it's some good liquor.
Put the Hennessy on ice for me, man.
I got you, Bob. I got you, Bob.
Thank you, Doug.
I got you.
Yeah. Go bring that man a package of condiments.
That's pure class right there. Thank you, Jay.
There we go. There we go. And next, man, we got my brother in the building, man. The voice, man, the smoothness, man. He be going on 2-hour spaces, 3-hour spaces. You know, you log in at 4 a.m. He's live. He just had a birthday yesterday as well, man. My
happy birthday too, man.
Pick Six Sports. What's going on, guy?
Man, I appreciate it, man. This is fire. I love this concept of what we're doing. Man, I'm ready to have a good time with all the brethren that are here right now live in the building. So, yeah, man, Pick Six Sports, y'all know what it is. Your guy Nick's on Twitter, man. Come through. I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm ready to have fun with my fellas.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Beer gang.
Gang.
Beer gang in the building. Speaking of tag team, and I got my tag team partner in the building, man. I don't know how many of these Eagles round tables we done won, Rome. You know, it's probably up like the 15. You know what I'm saying? We're the Eagles killers right now, but I got my guy CFT Rome in the building. What's going on, bro?
What's good, Tuck? Oh, man. Meeting of the minds, man. That's why we're the Avengers shirt.
Rome,
like
that's
that.
the whole thing. Hey, Rome.
Rome got a new house, man. Rome got a new house.
Anytime, man. It's anytime.
That Boost Mobile.
Was that Tom Brady and Gronk? You know what I'm saying?
Jack got Rome. Jack got
Get it. We'll get him right, man. Last but not least, man, this guy's one of the realest in the game, and you know you always gonna get the truth when it comes from Big Game James, man. What's going on, my guy?
What's going on? I just appreciate it. I'm glad and privileged to be to be on here today. So just be short and sweet like everybody else. Let's get it and have a good time.
Yeah, let's have a good time tonight. So how we gonna do it, man? We gonna talk through camp. You know what I'm saying? We gonna go through position. I know we got questions coming in from all over the place. So I said like the last 20 minutes, we'll just dictate that to questions from the community. So send y'all super chats, get the likes up, get the shares up, do what y'all normally do, Cowboys Nation. And we about to have fun with it. So let's go ahead and get to it. So I'm gonna start with the quarterback room. And I'm going to pass this question over to Wes and also to Vach, right? So we know that Dak Prescott is the quarterback. There's no competition here, right? But two-part question. What is the expectations for Dak going into this season? And also, do you think the Cowboys have done enough as far as getting the backup just in case there's a 4-game, 5-game injury that can fill that void for Dak? I'm going to start with you, Wes.
Well, right out the gate, I mean, I think Dak Prescott had one of his best seasons of his NFL career because he threw more touchdowns than any other quarterback that's ever worn a star on his helmet. So I think it would be a travesty for me to say that guy needs to improve on some things. But hey, that guy can find some things that he can improve on. So, I mean, I think like all things in life, you know, Dak will get better. Like, I think we just need to trust in Dak, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, he is statistically and skill setly gotten better every single year. So I'm just going to trust that Dak is going to be himself. And as long as Dak be himself, I feel at the quarterback position, you will be okay. You mean the number one quarterback in the NFL did not win a Super Bowl last year. So I don't think that's the criteria. Now on the backup quarterback, you know, my dad always told me, you know, I only feel comfortable with my backup quarterback if I can answer this question. If Dak Prescott was to go down today, which is July 24th, 2022, do I feel comfortable with any one of these guys?
Knock on wood.
No. Hey, I know.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, what's that boy named Darren McFadden that broke his arm getting the phone?
The fool or something like that. Yeah.
He denied it though. But yeah, my dad would always say, you know, do you feel comfortable with your backup quarterback running 17 games? And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. No, I don't. So. And I think the bad thing about that is, or the good thing, I think there's probably out of 32 teams, I'm probably saying there's probably like 27 teams that probably feel the exact same way I feel about their backup quarterback. So unfortunately, I think that's a problem that everybody has. So you just hope your quarterback stays upright. Because if he doesn't, your dreams are going to probably go left.
Facts. Watch, I'm going to kick the same question over to you, my guy.
I mean, that's well said, man. And, you know, when Dak's healthy, and then just think about healthy, right? Like Dak did what he did like towards the end of last year with one calf, a half a shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Cooper's foot was hurting. You know what I mean? Just so much of this other stuff going on. And Dak wasn't never just flat out terrible. Like there was no point where we looked at Dak and went, boy, that might as well be Andy Dalton. You know what I'm saying? Like Dak's always been in that conversation. And I can't do a show without saying I hate Cowboy fans, but like there's some Cowboy fans somewhere at somebody's house on somebody's internet that don't understand how good Dak is, and I think that's a shame, man. I had to almost cuss Colin Cowherd out. Just look, man, bro. Like there's no metric you can look at, whether it be numbers, whether it be wins since he's been in the league, whether it be like playoff wins. Because look, you're like, well, what has Dak done in the playoffs? Well, Justin Herbert ain't done shit since he's been here, and Lamar Jackson and these Kyler Murray characters, like what are these guys doing that you swear to God they better than Dak, right? Like you promise they better than Dak. You would rather have them characters on.
Sorry about
but what if they done?
I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. I got you.
You good? What if they done? You know what I'm saying, better than Rain Dakota Prescott? I'm not saying he's the best in the league or nothing like that. I don't want to be Homer guy. I don't want to talk crazy, nothing like that. But when I say Dak top 5, it shouldn't be nobody looking around talking about some how. Like look at whatever metric you rank quarterbacks in, and he up there somewhere. He in that mix 5, 6, or 7. So as long as you got that dude, I think you fine. Backup quarterback. Shit, man. I mean, Dak get hurt. It's a wrap,
True.
Home.
You
You
know what I mean? But there's not really a reason to be like, okay, well, if we don't find a backup quarterback, we're not going to win the Super Bowl. That's crazy. Because like, where they at? Like, go on the market and find them. Like, go find Brian Hoyer, get him out of retirement. You know what I mean? Like, find me a backup quarterback that's worth having. So, we just got to knock on some wood and hope Dak, body holds himself together. But if he's healthy, I don't see why we wouldn't be the number 1 to 3 offense again, why we wouldn't be leading in touchdowns and yards again. You just need the more of a synergistic thing with your team situation. It's never on that.
Big facts.
So I'm gonna open this up to the panel. So with the offense the way it's currently constructed, do you think it adds more pressure on Dak to kind of raise to that out of that top 5 category to be more what they quote unquote call elite, or do you think that he can continue to play at the same pace that he's been playing thus far?
Dak get better every year.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
no.
Every year, so
every time we put some in Dak, just put some in front of him, Dak just moves the shit out the way and keeps proving himself. Well, Dak can't be a deep ball passer. He goes and tears that shit. Oh, Dak can't make a tight window throws. He goes and tears that shit up. He gets better every single year. And quarterbacks get better when they're in their 30s. Dak is going into that time, bro. So you can keep. I'm not talking about you, J-Tuck, but whoever I'm talking about in Cowboy Land is hating this shit. You can find whatever. Oh well, Dak can't throw 7 routes scrambling to his left with his left hand. You can try to come up with shit like that. But if it's just straight up and down quarterback evaluation, bro, like quit playing, man. There's no pressure for Dak. Dak stepped into his freshman campaign and took Tony Romo's job and went to the playoffs and damn near won a playoff.
Be mad at you about that.
Yep. Ooh, couldn't get the job back.
Yeah.
Yup, and every year, like what Vaught said, Dak Prescott improve every year, and Dak already know pressure is a privilege. So now heading into this 2022 season without his number 1 wide receiver, of course, Amari Cooper, now you're bringing in expectation for CeeDee Lamb. Oh, excuse me, Jalen Tolbert. So now you got all of those things. Watch. Just like everybody crying about Cedric Wilson, or they cried about the other guy who had what's his name? Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
They're gonna be crying about James Washington by the end of the year because they're gonna be saying, "Hey, can you pay James Washington?" Why James Washington gonna have an unbelievable year?
They all get money, Law. They all get money. Cedric Wilson got money because of Dak Prescott. Come on,
right?
Nobody's talking about that. Yeah,
Cowboy fans, like I think they've kind of been programmed to kind of understand what they feel what a good quarterback is. So it's like, I ain't trying to bring up no undertones, but it's like I just feel that like Dak is I feel even if Dak was to win a Super Bowl, I still feel like that statement you just said about someone's internet, that statement would still be true because it's like fans still will not acknowledge that Dak had a really good season this year, right? And then you compound on that. It's like, what quarterback out here had his brother, pass away? What quarterback out here had a contract negotiation with the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones all within that sphere and had a major injury? My dude had all that he had literally the worst 18 months. Like we think we had United States had a bad 18 months. We just had COVID. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And he had to deal with the ramifications. And my dude did, like, I understand he didn't do no break no god awful NFL records, but considering what Adrian Peterson did when he came back from his injury and had 2,000 yards, for Dak Prescott to come back from injury and break the Dallas Cowboys touchdown record, bro, that we cannot spend too much. We can't validate these conversations about can Dak get better or does Dak need to get improved. No, I can't validate that. At
Big
some
facts.
point, you got to say Dak is good enough. What is the round parts doing?
Go ahead, Ron.
I think the biggest thing that people need to focus on with Dak this year is his training. Dak hasn't had a chance to just train and hone his craft. He dealt with that injury. He rehabbed. He had re-aggravated. He had a shoulder. He hasn't been able to just focus on his craft and not a certain part of his body in almost 2 years. So that's what everybody should be more focused. Real quiet. Dak and the team seem to be a little bit more focused than normal. I haven't been seeing, even in interviews, they've been just trying to keep it humble for the most part. And, you know what I'm saying, keeping it. So I'm looking forward to seeing the results, you know, obviously in a couple of days, because I really locked in, and he ain't really want to talk about it too much. It looked like he want to go out there and do. The fact that he was able to train for
ain't nobody gonna say that about Robo Rome.
Come
right
on.
now.
Hey, log out, come back in, Rome.
Have you ever been talking to somebody who don't speak their language? You just be like,
They're gonna make me be that person.
It's not evidence.
Hey, come on back. Log out, come back in, Rome.
Somebody say you sound like, man,
Shout out to Scott, man. Shout out to Scott, man.
My bad, Scott.
The inner production value of Sky was cringing right there.
Hey, that boy Scott. Oh Lord.
I'm
Have
sitting
you
here
ever been
ready to
listening? Have you
snap.
been listening to someone
You
talk?
gonna mute my man?
You gonna make me say it?
Hey,
Let me pick up for Ro. Let me answer your question
ahead,
here,
Will.
man. Is there pressure on Dak Prescott? Of course, there's pressure. He plays for the Cowboys, right? He
Right.
has inherited pressure. You know what I'm saying? When you put that star on your helmet, you become the #1 public enemy, no matter if you win a damn Super Bowl. So yeah, there's pressure in that regard. But you know, does Dak Prescott have to prove something to people? Yes, he does. And I love Dak Prescott, but you know, when you're the Cowboys quarterback, there's going to be that kind of inherited pressure. Number one. Number two, he's got to stay healthy. You know, the last 3 years there's been health issues. And number three, I think Dak does everything fine. He's going to continue to grow. I'm not worried about him from a quarterback standpoint. I just want to see him get back to being the finisher that he was his first 3 years. Like I don't think we can, as much as we all love Dak and believe in Dak, we also do have to talk about the things that he needs to be better at. I don't necessarily think it's quarterback things. I feel like he reads well. I feel like he can make all the throws. I feel like he knows the offense. I'm not worried about that. It's kind of the non-intangible things that I want him to do. Like there is no tangible thing to say finish, right? But that's the thing that he hasn't quite done by himself as a self person, not the team, as himself. He hasn't really finished on some of those drives, whether it be the playoffs, whether it be the Arizona Cardinals, whether it be the Raiders, whatever, right? So just personally, I would like to see him do more of that. But he's going to continue to grow as a quarterback. I have no worries about Dak. He's the least of my worries about this team, bro.
Well, Scott, let me segue and ask you this then. Are you worried about Kellen Moore? Because that's the guy that needs to improve.
Well, we don't get there long.
I'm jumping the gun. My bad, man. My bad. Well, y'all put a placeholder on that.
Put a pin in it. Put a pin in it.
Put a pin in it then. You know,
Hey, Scott, to throw you
I'm
an
going to tell you
example.
why Dak will improve
Go ahead.
more this year. I want you to think about this for a second because most people don't even think about this very much. But last year, the whole year was focusing in on getting his ankle to stop falling off.
Facts.
Okay. Remember, he wasn't cleared for OTAs. You got CeeDee Lamb, who was drafted in a COVID year, okay, and didn't have really that much work that they could do together. Training camp was shortened. There were no preseason games. So you had CeeDee Lamb only basically playing 5 games with Dak Prescott. Enter last season when Dak was finally cleared. He was so excited about throwing that he literally threw his arm off. And then we went to, you're not throwing any at all, training camp. Didn't play any preseason games and ends up going out basically on the season cold. Now, if you look at some of the passes with like Cedric Wilson, you know, and talking to Dak's uncle and things, you know, from, you know, a little insight he was giving me, of course, a lot of the time Cedric Wilson's going one way, Dak's saying he's going another. These things happen where you know what the other guy is doing when you are able to practice together. This is the first off season that CD and Dak have been able to just work out and actually catch. I guarantee you will see less drops from CD Lamb because they'll know the ball placement better and what CD really likes better. And the fact that Dak Prescott can actually just focus in on being the best football player and actually have an offseason together. He has always gotten better every single year. And like we were talking about, they always move the field goal post with him and things. They always come up with these crazy ass narratives. Oh, well, he's never won a road playoff game. What?
Right.
You know, in what world is Dak Prescott better than Justin Herbert? Well, he beat him, didn't he? He's got a better record.
Facts.
He didn't have as many interceptions as you know Herbert had, and he kicked his ass in his own stadium. So how are you saying that he's not in the same class? And these matrix that you hear, Aaron Rodgers and him and Pat Mahomes all had 37 TDs.
Right.
So what's the difference between what Aaron Rodgers did? We both lost to the same team, the 49ers, and I dare say we softened them up. You had Jimmy Garoppolo only throw 109 yards. How come Green Bay couldn't beat 109 yards passing?
Facts.
And that was your Super Bowl MVP. But I look forward this year, Dak's going to be on a mission. One final thought, and I'm not going to try and take up too much time.
No, go ahead. Do your thing.
One thing that happens, sometimes you make changes because you're forced to change. And having Michael Gallup out last year, when you actually look at the heyday of the season, the Cowboys were looking fantastic the first half of the season. And I hate to say it when Michael Gallup was out, and it was when they were running a lot of 12 personnel. They may be forced into that same momentum as well. If Zeke is truly healthy, if Tyler Smith can just cut down on the penalties in half of what Connor Williams has, and if Jake Ferguson can block at least as good as as Blake Jarwin, Cowboys are going to be able to run the football. And if they can run the football, they're going to be able to reaction the hell out of people, and they will be able to use 12 personnel that will be deadly. I know I'm old and love
Mr. Nasty.
I'm young, and I'm screaming, "Run the damn ball!" What you mean?
Run the ball, man. Yeah.
Run the football. And we didn't have that the second half of the season.
You got to add some context to it, but yeah, we good. Run the ball.
Zeke, you're not doing shit. It's all like it was on Romo, where it was either we're going to win or lose on Romo's arm, and you can't do that. It's not winning football.
Well, I'm going to segue from that. I'm going to ask you, Boss Nix and Big Game James's question. When it comes to the running backs, do you think there's going to be a shift in focus where we could be more run dominant, kind of like that 2016 team was? And then also, how do you think Zeke and Pollard will be utilized this year? I'm going to start with you, Boss.
I did want to take that quarterback question. If that's okay.
Go ahead.
I've been muddling on that.
Okay. You looking kind of quiet over there. No.
Oh no. I'm just respecting the panel. But this is the thing, man. Just thinking out loud. Dak Prescott was born to be the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. Like he literally said that when he was 5 years old to his dad. Like he said, "I'm going to be the Dallas Cowboys quarterback." He was a fan before he was our quarterback, right? So going back to the days where he was drafted, everybody started picking apart his Twitter where he was actually critiquing Romo, obviously not knowing that the future was going to have them boys as teammates, but it just showed you that his heart was in it before he ever was our quarterback. And on top of that, obviously, he knows the conditions that it is to be our quarterback, being a fan first. So just like we all know, like Scott said, when you the Dallas Cowboy quarterback, that comes with pressure. He also knows that, which to me, he has lifelong conditions of preparing to be our quarterback. So I do want to talk about the fact that there is some things that I think he can work on. Being all the way honest about it, I do want Dak to take over better because I do know that we have a deficit with a committee system that can become stagnant at times. And sometimes you need the leader of the whole team to buck the system. And I'm going to be just straight up about that. That's something that I think would make Dak better and attack matchup. So if I was to answer your question, your original question on where can Dak be better, I would say that in terms of just taking over. But in terms of having that it factor, like Voss said, that closing, all the skill sets, everything that Mark Holmes said about what he had to endure to even just play out and how good he played, like West Coast said, in terms of breaking a franchise record and breaking Romo's record with all the controversy that he went through and the ankle and his brother and all of that. He's made for that part. And then your question on backup. Like, in terms of a backup,
I'm cool with Cooper Rush. I'm super cool with him. It's like, because I feel like there's times to where can he get hot like Foles did? Probably not. But can he win you a couple of games because he coming in hungry and go deliver the ball? Yeah, just like he did in Minnesota. And just remember, when he was a rookie and he was in his preseason games, he had the highest passing rating out of all quarterbacks, including Mahomes and Watson. Obviously, I'm not saying he those guys. I'm not saying,
right.
but I'm saying,
We better than Watson.
I'm saying he can win you a couple of games if Dak go down. So I'm kind of cool with that.
Yeah.
Nix, you want to dive in on the quarterback situation?
I think it's been covered all the way around. Let's get to these running backs, man.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's
I'm
get
asking
to
that
the running
question.
backs. Yeah, I think, when it comes to the running backs, we talked about it a lot last year. I know I did. Looking for Paul to get in that rotation of 12 to 15 touches along with what they're going to be doing with Zeke, having them both on the field at the same time. And every year, whether it's OT or minicamp, like, oh, they're actually going to do it this year. They're going to do it this year. And then we get to the regular season and it doesn't happen. So, but then going back to what Holmes was saying, about the 12 personnel and whatnot, it's not just about Zeke, it's about getting Pollard involved too. And we talk about Pollard in the idea where he can help in the slot and help this passing game as well. You do want to see him get more. Now, going back to 2014, Tuck, like you asked, could the Cowboys say, all right, Zeke's last ride, we're about to load him up like they did DeMarco Murray and the old pump and dump, and move on from the contract? I mean, there's maybe something to that. But yeah, the Cowboys got to be, it's not just about running the ball and running the ball effectively, schematically, Kellen Moore, doing things better in those realms. But I would like to see, you kind of think about RIP to Marion Barber, the Barber and Julius Jones kind of split action where you're starting to talk about between the 20s was more Julius and then your hammer inside the 20 and then to put the game away with Barber. If they could kind of get to that kind of rotation, that lightning and thunder rotation with Pollard and Zeke, I would love to see it.
Well said too.
What about you, Big Game? What's your thoughts on the run game?
I hope that we've been talking about it a long time, just like Nick said that we've been wanting to see Tony Pollard. I've been saying getting him about 15 to 20 carries in that game, not 15 to 20, but magic touch for the whole team as a duo, getting about 20 carries. The team is just better, and I just feel like Dak Prescott himself is better when he has him. He's a more effective quarterback. He can do a lot more things. Action. He's just a better quarterback. Is better when it's balanced. And we've seen at the very beginning of the early of the season, Dallas was one of the top running back rushing teams in the league. They're almost like 180 yards a game. So it's not like we didn't see them running the ball. Health is a good thing. I know everybody's trying to run or move on from him, but at the end of the day, still that tough battering around back. He was playing before the injury, and I think if they continue to use that with Kellen Moore kind of being blown out in the media and everybody talking about him with his play calling, that we will see a little bit more of that Tony Pollard thing, just because he can't really hide with his play now because everybody's going to be looking about it. Everybody's going to be looking at it because it's already been kind of exposed in previous times, especially this past season. So I think the running is going to be solid, and especially when you're losing Amari, you want to have that running base because it makes, like I said, it makes Dak Prescott, it makes any quarterback a better quarterback, but the Dallas Cowboys are a better team when you can have that run pass balance.
And Wes, I'm gonna kick it over to you because I know you missed to run the damn ball. So what's your thought process on the run game this season?
Well, I'm going to say what everybody believes I'm going to say. I think the Cowboys should run the ball every single play, including on defense. You know what I'm saying? Figure out a way to run it on special teams, too. Nah, man, listen to me. This is what I believe, man. My hat does not say Zeke run the ball. Don't say Tony Pollard run the ball. It says just run the damn ball, right? And when I'm screaming running the damn ball, what I'm really saying too is this, right? Your defense should not be 100% clocked in on your ability to pass. And when you take away the run, which the defense is like any defensive coordinator, that is their first job. Like, what's your first job in this game? Take away the run. Why? Because when you take away the run, unfortunately in the NFL, they're going to pass the ball. right? But if you're able to take away someone's run, you put your defense in way more predictable positions. And you got to think like this, man, they're not paying for defensive tackles right now. You don't hear about you hear about God. Obviously, there's God out there in Aaron Donald making a whole bunch of money, but who is behind him? There is no 12 disciples, right? But when you look at defensive ends, edge rushers, man, everybody got someone trying to stop the pass. Even we got someone that's trying to stop the pass. So my thing is like this, Cowboys, these defenses are really designed to stop the pass, and if they can stop the run, so be it. They'll be okay with it. Every single year, there's a new team that's number one in stopping the run. Why? Because it's nothing that the NFL is really focusing on it. So I say this, Dallas Cowboys, when the entire NFL is focusing on trying to get to your quarterback, hand the ball off to the damn running back. Like and I'm gonna tell you, that's how we beat. Because I'm just listen. That LA Chargers game could have been a loss. It could have been a loss. Right. You know what I'm saying? But we did a phenomenal job of using the run game to run at their best defensive player. Yep. Man, by the third quarter, Joey Bosa had his freaking hands on it. You know, by the third quarter, Joey Bosa had his hands on it, or Joey or whatever. The Bosa kid had his hands on his shoulders. I mean, he was tired. Yeah. So I mean, he was whooped. So my biggest thing with the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm gonna tell you this right here. This just kind of came to me. If we run the damn ball, especially until we know what's going on with Michael Gallup, what happens? Amari Cooper's biggest attribute was what? He commanded double coverage, right? Now, teams are going to touch. They say this. The whole NFL is saying CeeDee Lamb is a number one receiver. Well, every corner in the NFL is saying, okay, we're going to test that, right? If you run the ball effectively, that safety is going to have to decide, do I want to go pair up against and help CeeDee Lamb, or do I need to stay my butt in this box? We need to get defenses back to focusing on Zeke, because if you focus on Zeke, think about this. Who was our leading receiver in 2016? It wasn't no 1,200-yard receiver. Nope. It was old 88. You know what I mean? And he had a decent season. And we looked unbeatable. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. The best the Dallas Cowboys ever looked since Dak Prescott's been the quarterback is when we was running the ball. I always tell people, if you let Zeke be the best player on this team, Dak's going to get all the credit for it.
Yes, right. That's exactly how it works.
I'm opening it up. Right. So anybody else got thoughts on that?
Definitely got some thoughts on it. So in terms of running damn ball, I'm absolutely for running the damn ball, but it's also more so because we are now built to run the damn ball. Exactly. I mean, Tyler Smith is a major acquire for us to play that left guard, and the fact that he was the all-time blocker in ACC from being a run blocker, like it fits him, and so when you have your first rounder as your left guard and you have question marks at receiver, how the hell do you not run the ball? It would be a sin not to run the ball. You have a young receiver, Tolbert, that's going to be thrown in big boy shoes. You want to bring him along slowly. You don't want to just throw him totally in the fire, even though he has stud written all over him. You still want to manage him smart. So yeah, running the ball just makes sense. And there are some major benefits when you run the ball and the way that we're built. First of all, we killed when we was running behind Terrence Steele. Now you also got somebody else on the left side to give you balance where you don't know where that running game is coming from. Mm-hmm. So now we really are built to bully. And when we are bullying teams and we are actually bringing physical pain to teams, you just control a team. And you rest your defense. Yep. Like, to me, everything says we should run the ball. And in terms of Pollard, in terms of running the ball, I'm going to be honest, I think they are using Pollard completely wrong. Okay. What they've done is, if you look at how he was used in Memphis, he was used with more screen principles, right? So a lot of people will say, okay, they was lining them in the slot, and they was talking about that a lot this offseason. But using him properly is to basically get him the ball in space. To me, because there's multiple ways to get Pollard the ball without just running the ball. With these guys, it's more so also about touches. So I would want to see Zeke and Pollard, because you asked about both of those guys, right? Not just running the ball, but be creative on how you get those guys touches. So, like for
Let me ask you
instance,
a question, Boss.
yo,
First of all, do I sound like a Ross still?
you sound fantastic.
Keep
I'm
going.
gonna act like you don't, but go. I'm gonna act like you
yeah,
don't. But go.
yeah.
Yeah,
We gonna
We
rock.
gonna
We
push
gonna rock.
through it, big dog.
you do a great job of
No,
fixing it. So good job.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had
Go ahead,
to
Ron,
switch
we
the
good.
whole thing. But how many touches you want to see the running like the backfield get?
Well, yeah, I
Like,
would
if
say
you
about
get, if
30
you get on
touches.
the average, what do you want to see?
Up about 30 touches,
Yeah.
which is exactly what San Fran said, right?
Facts.
And yeah.
I'm with
So and the Rams. So there's a certain amount of touches that if you're creative about how you get your playmakers the ball. And I'm gonna say this also just to answer your question. So I gave you the number 30, but it's also the concepts. Like for instance, and just in my opinion, when you look at how Zeke was used at Ohio State, if he was drafted from the Dallas Cowboys, we never would have believed he was a 3-down back.
Facts.
Why? Because we don't use him to catch out the backfield. You feel me, Wes? Wes, feel me? We
Yeah, I
would
know
have
exactly
drafted
what
him
you're
as a 3-down
Yeah.
back based on how the
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys use him. We knew he was a 3-down back because Ohio State used him that way.
Facts.
Like we forget, not that Pollard can catch, but Zeke can catch. And I'm telling you, as an ex-defensive back, the scariest shit in the world, excuse me for cursing, is if a Zeke catches in the flats and I have to come tackle that.
Mhm. There you
I'm
go.
just being honest.
Yeah.
So
And-
it's like it's not just even the touches, is putting those
Yeah.
guys on the perimeter to do damage. Scott, I heard
Right,
you
well-
talk about it when we was
Facts.
talking about San Fran. What
Right.
did Pollard do when they put him on the edge?
They truck that corner, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's more than to me just run the ball. It's run the ball, get those guys the touches, and put them in the places where they go win better.
And Vach, Scott, I'm gonna ask you this question though. But
That's
do
what
y'all
it's-
think that's the mentality of Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore when it comes to this offense, that they can even commit that type of thinking?
That's what it's about to me. I don't really care how many times they run it as long as it's efficient and what Boss said how they do it. Because last year they tried, I use quotes, tried to run it last year and they did it in the wrong way. They would line Zeke up in the backfield out of shotgun and just have Dak turn around and tell him to run up at the A gap.
Right.
That's
Right.
not going to work, especially with a one-legged Ezekiel Elliott. So tell me, how are we running? Like Boss just explained. Are we attacking the edges? Are we using pre-snap motion to get the linebacker to just hesitate for 1 second? Like that matters more to me now than back in 2016 where we could just line up and go. I don't know yet if we can just do that just yet. That may be answered by week 3. But right now we're entering a different year for the Cowboys, right? There's no Amari Cooper out there for teams to say, "All right, run on us,
Right.
beat us with the run." And Dallas was doing that through the first 6 weeks. If we got a little bit of context, teams were saying, we're not going to let Amari Cooper, CD Lamb, at one point it was Gallup, but it wasn't, and Dak Prescott just eat us up through the passing game, because that's where teams score quicker. We're going to make y'all have to earn it down the field and then score in the red zone. And in that Chargers game specifically, we weren't necessarily doing that. Look at the score. It was 17-17 in the fourth quarter, because it was like, sure, go ahead and run it. We ran all over 250 yards and barely got away with it, right? So I think a couple things have to happen. If you're going to be that type of team, which I agree with y'all, we have to rely on the run early on. You have to. You got a rookie wide receiver. Yeah, man, you got to. And you're better when you're balanced in general.
Yep.
But if you're going to rely on the run, history states if you want to win the Super Bowl, right, you're going to need, and we'll get to this later, your defense to be elite. And I don't mean just elite in today's game where it's like, oh yeah, you're 4th overall and you just, you got the Bucks, for instance, 2 years ago. That wasn't an elite defense. They had good players, but it was a good defense. I mean, if you're going to be hey, we're going to run it 35 times a game, that's our identity, then your defense better be top notch. Because when you get into the playoffs, it's going to come down to close games, and your defense is going to have to win you some of those dirty games. So I just want to see, and I'll wrap it up here, I want to see Kellen Moore get more creative in the run game, right? And if we're going to rely on it, I'm fine with it. But now I need my defense to take it to another level.
And bingo with that, Scott, because we've been talking for 40 minutes now, and we didn't even touch on the defense. So it lets us know that offense is our major concern. The Cowboys finished 5th in defense and 5th, I believe, or 6th in offense in 2006. Now, we all know that we still couldn't stop a nosebleed in the rush, but the running game also masked the defense. Now, case in point, we got a better defense, a defense that can get takeaways, turnovers, or what have you. So if this team can run the ball and with the caliber of defense that we have now, oh man, this can be unbelievable heading into 2022 season. We just got to get to running the ball effectively.
Yeah, and I think effectively, I think that's a question that we need to ask is, do you think Kellen Moore can do that? Because we do not have a run game coordinator. And like I've been preaching for this for a long time. Like, we need a guy who is just not Zeke's coach, because a coach is going to vouch for you on Monday through Tuesday or Monday through Saturday. But come that day on the game day, bruh, your position coach is on the sidelines grabbing you water, bruh.
Right.
You need actually someone who's getting paid and being responsible to make sure that it happens. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ron.
No, you know why I think that they don't focus on obviously why Kellen ain't focused on the run game, because that don't get him a job. It's messed up. He's focusing on the passing game because he's trying to become. He's been hearing that golden boy thing for too long, so he's sloppy and lazy with his run game scheme and focuses on the pass game.
I mean, I don't know who the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans is, but you would think he'd be wanted for jobs, right? It's as nasty as their run game be running, right? But I have no clue who he is. So
here's the thing on it. Touching back to when he went back to 2014, when you looked at that was probably one of the best teams we've had really since the Super Bowl eras, and that team was completely balanced. And when you went back to 2016, Zeke was feasting. He was basically the only running back. But like you were talking about, Dez had like 900 yards. You had Terrence Newman. Williams had about 600 some. You had Witten had 800 yards. It was balanced. And if you take the Dallas Cowboys through the first half of the season, and people say you just feasted on bad teams, but it was Tampa Bay, it was the Chargers, it was the Eagles, Carolina, New York, New England. We were on pace to have 5 guys to be 1,000-yard players. And that was Dalton Schultz, that was Tony Pollard, that was Zeke, that was Amari, and that was CeeDee Lamb. That offense was balling, but it was balanced, and you made the defense have to respect the whole field. And as far as the running game goes, one of the biggest problems with that running game was the damn penalties. If it's first down, you get hold, and now it's 1st and 20, you're not running the ball in 1st and 20.
Big facts, big facts.
You're now hold, now we have to pass. And once the team became one-dimensional, you're screwed.
14 penalties do it to you. You're right.
Go ahead, Mark.
So look, this is my thing, right? I was actually Googling this, and I put the link in the DMs of the situation. Any of, what I'm saying, y'all want to look at it or whatever. So I was just looking at it, right? So Tampa Bay, that was more of a, we had to pass to kind of beat this team or whatever, right? And shit, we was in our little bag then. But Chargers, Philly, Panthers, Giants, Patriots, all those were 30 attempt games, right? So I don't want to just take a side right now to be like, oh, Kellen had an ego, he had to throw the ball. I want to stop and think for a second, right? Because nobody gonna do something that works and go, fuck all this winning. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, they did it with Terrence Steele, though. They did it with Terrence Steele.
That was dictated to him, though, because once Zeke got hurt, once Tony Pollard got hurt, and then, of course, Tyron Smith, once you had to start shifting everything around, and then, of course, people don't talk about it, but Blake Jarwin went out after the Minnesota game. He was actually instrumental in that running game. So all of a sudden, you weren't as effective with it because your running backs were hurt and your offensive line was
But if I may, this is me bootlegging. I'm trying to be like Sky, man. Trying to do the play.
Watch me finish his point. Watch took over the point. I took over for a second. I wanted him to finish his point, if that's okay. You ain't
so like just basically what I'm saying, right? What happened between us running the ball 35 times or just 30 times, whatever, right? What happened between then and us not doing so? You know what I mean? So, you can look deeper and be like, because, we all watch film or whatever, right? And it was many times 1st and 10, all right, let's run the ball. And Dalton Schultz would just miss somebody, or Connor would hold somebody, or somebody would trip over grass and fall down. You know what I mean? So this ain't me picking one side or the other. I just wanted to, maybe we can, do this another day, come back, but like really deep dive what the hell happened after Dak got hurt, then as Minnesota, and Denver did the whole shit that they did. But after that, though, like what happened with the whole? Why weren't we able to run the ball in Kansas City moving forward? I just don't want to be.
It was like a culture change almost.
Can I chime in?
One more thing.
Go ahead.
So I just don't want to say, are we capable? Well, is Kellen Moore even capable of running the football? Well, he is, but something happened between then and then that stopped it, and I just kind of want to know the answer to that. Go ahead, Will.
I think it's you said his name, Kellen Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Kellen Moore has come up in a league where he doesn't know how to adjust in the run game, maybe in the pass game, maybe. But how many years coaching has Kellen Moore had where his run games got stopped and he had to adjust, right? He's only coached 3 times. So when Mark was talking about all these, these injuries and things like that, I said, well, and this is not on you, Mark, because I've heard this all the time. Well, then how does the Niners how do they continue to keep running well? How do the Ravens continue to keep running well? How do all these
free agents
without
you know why? It's because they have a running game coordinator.
They're committed to it.
And commit to it. Yeah.
The Cowboys don't have
no
that.
penalties.
So my whole point, my whole thing with Kellen, and this is not me faking the funk. I was giving Kellen praise because I had yet to see him counter. He was just eating those first 6 rounds. I'm like, damn, he's killing. Go ahead, Kellen. But when Kellen got rocked, I didn't see a counter, and I got worried because you can have your running game can be stopped. Your offensive line can get banged up. Your yada yada yada, right? But there are small little tweaks you can do. There's small little wins in those losses that we had. If you go look at some of the games where we only ran it 15 times, 6 of those rushes that went outside, they were successful. Well, why wasn't it 15 rushes outside? And those small little last point, and I got you, Wes. And those small little games, when you did motion, when you did some pre-snap stuff, it worked. Why didn't you keep doing it? So it's Kellen. I mean, Kellen has to be committed. He has to learn, and hopefully he does it year 4.
I think we just don't have an identity offensively.
Hey, and I was going to say this to piggyback on your point, man. It's like this. One thing I know about Golden State Warriors, if Steph hit 2 threes, they passing all the threes to him. He getting them all. You know what I'm saying? You know that Kellen Moore doesn't want to run when you see a guy like Zeke actually have a good run and then don't get the ball for a whole quarter. I'm gonna tell you
another game, Wes.
Exactly. And I'm gonna tell you, and I know that you guys say that we had to throw the ball, to beat Tampa Bay, but I feel like that's something we knew after the game. In the beginning of that Tampa Bay game, the Dallas Cowboys, on our very first drive, we ran the ball 3 times with Ezekiel Elliott. Me and BJ went over this at 3:00 in the morning. On the first handoff, he got 4 yards, right? Yeah. On the next handoff, he got 4 yards. On his next handoff, which was 3 plays away, it was 3rd and 1. They gave the ball to Zeke. He got 2 yards. BJ, I'm gonna ask you, when was the next time we ran the ball? How many plays was it? We counted them live on air.
It was like 10 or so.
It was 10.
It was 10 or so, I think.
Plays, man. Yeah. Incompletion. And I'm gonna tell you guys something that is not fair. It is not fair. It was not fair for them to throw the ball that damn much, not knowing if your defense was gonna be good. That is not fair. Like once you realize, like week 10, week 12, Teron Diggs got 13, 14 interceptions. I get it. But bro, this was Dan Quinn's first job as a defensive coordinator. Like, how do you do that, bro? Like, how do you do that? How do you make Dan Quinn defend Tom Brady 14 times in an NFL game? That's how many drives Tom Brady had in his first game. That's not right. That's like making a rookie quarterback throw 40. Think about this. That's like making a rookie quarterback throw the ball 40 times in his first game. Well, we did that twice with Ben DiNucci, threw the ball 40 times. Gary Gilbert threw the ball 40 times. If most of you guys up here are coaches, or I see you guys are coaching, I see it and I love that. If you guys know, if you have a kid who ain't never played quarterback before, and this is very first game, what you gonna do? The exact same thing the Baltimore Ravens did with Lamar Jackson. You know what they did? They ran the ball 26 times.
Yeah.
The run game can protect anything because it keeps the opposing offense off the field, man. Well, and that's all I'm saying. That's why Jerry Jones said when we drafted Zeke, oh yeah, the best defense is a good offense. We got to have a good offense, bro.
And like I said, I think it's just not having an identity. We don't know, like Sky said, when we got rocked by Denver, we didn't know what to get back to. So we just started passing a little bit. We just don't have that identity when it comes to Dallas Cowboys. Now, our identity has been the passing game with our wide receivers. Amari Cooper's gone. There's kind of reports about Michael Gallup might be back in November-ish now. So
December, dog.
Push it back, man. Don't rush the kids. Don't rush.
Come on, boss,
man. Y'all better, man. Listen, man. Y'all know I drink measured Kool-Aid, bro. No,
bro, don't do this.
That's another topic. Let's go back to what you said. That's another topic.
Now we going into the wide receiver.
He should be back by Thanksgiving, though. Even in the playoffs.
All right, so I'm gonna go to you, boss. So when do you think
Kool-Aid real?
When do you expect Michael Gallup to return?
Man, I always said Michael Gallup gonna be back around December, bro.
That's like 10 weeks, though.
I've always said it, bro. Because listen, all of us have played the game at some level. All of us have seen ACL injuries. When have you ever seen somebody come back 9 months, bro? 9 months is best case scenario, and they always was telling us a fib when they were saying between around week 3. I've never, ever believed it. I've always said that they was giving us smoke on that, big dog. And I'm sticking to December, bro, because then just look at the timeline. And I do want to go back to Kellen Moore, too. But think about the timeline that happened to Tristan Hill, bro. It's right in our face, right? When did Tristan Hill come back from his?
Well, how long did
the end of the season? When did he actually have?
He had different too, though. He got 300-some pounds. You got to work with.
Yeah, what I just said. He came back over a year later.
Right. Jarvin was another guy, right? You know, he came back and they rushed him back a little bit. So,
and then Neville Gallimore, they promised he was gonna come back in 3 weeks, and we didn't see him to the end of the season. So listen, they trying to sell us optimism. That's part of the game. But Kellen Moore, because I want to go back to what Vosh said too. Because he asked a good question, and it was a question where he said, you know, why would he see it work and then abandon it? I think it comes down to what Frank Sinatra said in his song.
I did it my way.
I do it my way, and I think I think it's a tendency, right? Mm-hmm. Because West Coast brought out this fact a long time ago, and I've been stealing it from him since. When you look at when Dak went down and we were still second in passing attempts, that's telling you what type of coordinator you got, right? It's a pass-happy OC, and his tendency is to pass the ball, even when the running game is working. It's like, it's almost like that. This running game, we winning with it, but
that's not just Kellen Moore. That's Mike McCarthy's MO too.
That's what I was gonna say. That's Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy. It's kind of like us as husbands. You know, we don't want to take grass. It's just something we have to do.
Hold on, wait. Can I respond to that? I want to respond to that because I think you got to divide. I'm gonna be honest.
Y'all really think Mike McCarthy got pulled like that?
That's exactly what I'm gonna say.
I feel like Kellen Moore has way more pull.
He has way more pull than Mike McCarthy, in my opinion. No disrespect, Mark. I just disagree with that. And no disrespect. Got major respect for you. I'm just saying because Law and I talked about this. Law coined this term, unsullied. Like Mike McCarthy his nuts was cut the moment they assigned Kellen Moore to him.
Facts.
Where does that happen? Where
60 people got fired. He was the only one that stayed.
Right. Yeah, you get the job. You get the job, but you gotta also have this guy with you. Well, what does that tell you about that guy? That guy got the weight. You know what I mean? So I think it's Kellen, in my opinion. You know, I think it's Kellen, and I think he's pass happy, but I think the pressure is loud, which should maybe humble him. That's the only thing we got is to say it loud right now. To me.
Hey, Paul,
go ahead, Mark.
He's on the hot seat too, though.
Who?
I mean, for Kellen Moore, even though the Cowboys, you know, they basically lived off of the first half of the season as far as their statistics go. They coasted with the numbers because we couldn't run the ball worth shit the second half. And you've got to say, he went on all those interviews and he didn't get the callbacks. He's kind of like looking now. People are kind of looking at him side-eyed right now and saying, maybe, you know, like everybody talks about Dak Prescott. Well, you got all those pieces and everything else. You know, your numbers aren't really real. And so now he's got to go ahead and do something better than what he has done this year if he's ever going to be able to expand his job titles.
His problem is going to be,
Tampa Bay
can he be a
you-
leader of men?
Right.
That's the problem.
Man, I need my buttons.
According to the insiders that sat at I guess in one of his meetings or what have you, they said that they don't believe he can lead these players. And the people I've talked to said he couldn't.
Was that about McCarthy or Kellen? You said
Kellen.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, Scott, and the panel. Here's the thing, Scott, and the panel. The Washington Commanders, they had Shanahan at one time in their locker room, as well as McVay. And I asked the Washington fan, would you like to switch it now and have McVay? And they said, man, they would love, they would get rid of all of their coaches to have McVay. The thing is, you can't skip the process of going through growing pains. You can't skip that. And the Cowboys are trying to skip that process with Kellen Moore. And there's no other way around it. A new broom can sweep the floor good, but that old broom can get the corners.
Because this is the way they know. They are literally following the same footprint as Jason Garrett. This is what Jerry knows. He thinks this works, and they're comfortable with that. That's the problem, man. I think good things can come out of confrontation. Good confrontation has helped this franchise go in good direction twice. Jimmy Johnson was confrontational. Bill Parcells was confrontational. Was Chan Gailey, Dave Campbell, Mike McCarthy, Jason Garrett? No. So when you got, when you're comfortable in this, yes man situation, I don't think you're ever going to, in my opinion, get past this unless you get ridiculous amount of luck. You need some confrontation. There's a guy out there that'll come and bring some of that next year, but that's a whole different conversation.
Let me ask you this, big game. So what confrontation can come when Kellen Moore can sit
in the
back
heat
and
of battle, he don't miss. In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
You missed the drop, Chuck. No, he was perfect on that drop. One more time.
Like, this motherfucker don't miss. No, that motherfucker don't miss, man. In the heat of battle, he don't miss. No. In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
Yeah, he needed a drop on that one. He needed that
Big
drop.
Game, I was going to ask you, bro. So from Kellen Moore's standpoint, though, he can sit back and say, "Look what our offense did last year." Right? So
he can say that.
So what's going to push him to actually change?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. I mean, just bouncing off pretty much what Sky was saying, I'm just really agreeing with that point. I've been saying that this is the way it was set up with Jason Garrett. Everything's been too easy for him. The same way Jason Garrett came over from Miami when he was the quarterback's coach, everything was given to him. It was easy. They laid everything at his feet when he took over and became the offensive coordinator. And if you listen to T.O. and some of those players, they were saying the same thing they were saying about Kellen Moore. He ain't really got a counter punch. We get all these points, we run these same plays, but then these defenses figure us out, then they don't know what to do after that. It's like the same, it's like Jason Garrett part 2. So it's hard for me to say where is there going to be change because they laid out the same thing with Garrett, did the same exact thing, and we, the fans and the people, really pushed Jason Garrett out because they might have kept him another 3 to 4 years and kept on trying. If it wasn't for us, fans probably finally revolting and saying we done with Jason Garrett. So what Jerry and Jones and them said, okay, we'll get rid of him, but we got his prodigy right here, so we'll raise him up the same way, and maybe Kellen Moore can be different than Jason Garrett, but it's becoming the same way, so it's just really hard. The only thing I'm going to say is, since people were putting him on shine with Kurt Warner and those guys, now maybe he has to feel like he's got to show something because now the big light is on him because he's been coddled. As I said before, Stephen Jones was the main one that was talking about, hey, I love Kellen Moore, so we are going to bring him back. And he made that statement when he said, I love Kellen Moore. So a real villain. And who was, to me, really running it right now? Stephen Jones is really running right now. So
I've been saying that for years.
It's some tough things going on with that.
Well, that's why I think we got to kind of that's why I think us as fans kind of got to give your head coach I'm not saying you kind of give him a pass, but it's like, I don't think Jerry Jones is actually hiring head coaches to actually facilitate the role of being a leader. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not even empowering them in that position. And if you think about this, when they fail at leading, they don't punish them for it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I feel like for Mike McCarthy, the reason why his job is safe is because he's not being judged based on that. I think his job title requires motivation, conversation, all those other things that they kind of started forwarding Jason Garrett towards at the end of his career. I know a lot of fans want to blame Jason Garrett, but I'm going to be real with you, man. Jason Garrett didn't call plays since 2013. I'm saying they stripped those play callings from him publicly, gave those to someone else. Then it became who? Scott.
But did you see the Giants offense last year? I'm glad that you
I'm waiting for somebody to say that.
Let me jump on that, Wes, because I feel what you're saying. But once again, it was a lot of the public that was getting mad at what Jason Garrett was doing. So he said, okay, you know what? I'm going to strip that of you because we the people in the
No, but see, that wasn't the reason why they stripped that. The reason why they stripped that is because the Dallas Cowboys had just went and got those 2 running backs, and because Jason Garrett was actually number 1 in scoring, and he was number 6 in passing offense. They was rocking the ball. The reason why he lost his job was because his inability to run the ball. We had just got those running backs.
Please don't fight about Jason Garrett.
Oh man,
Here's the thing, y'all. I had structure. I had notes how we was gonna do this. I knew damn well I should delete all them notes.
No, we ain't gonna let them fight over Jason Garrett. That's one thing we not gonna.
Hell no.
Next, Tuck, what you got? What you got, Tuck?
I'm gonna get the wide receiver
feel like
part,
we
but you know
blame
what,
the
y'all
wrong
do.
guy.
No,
all the
okay,
time.
yes, I'm with you.
Wait a minute, man. We are not finna fight for Jason Garrett. Come on.
That's right. He right. He got blamed. Next.
Like, shoot the right guy finally.
Delete the notes. We do wrong internet, man. We gotta get my guy Rome some Google internet.
Man, wrong, man.
Hey, my guy Rome is probably with the Q's, man. He got the connection, man.
You out there kicking it with the Q's. You got your internet bill.
Hey,
man.
Rome out there sounding like.
Right. Everybody say Rome a hot spot. Hey, I'm gonna go to my guy Knicks, man. So speaking of wide receivers, right? So so Ball says that Michael Gallup might not return until December. I'm hoping before Thanksgiving at least give me that. You know what I'm saying? So how do you expect this wide receiver core to look going through the season, getting midway through without a Michael Gallup, who's our clear number 2 wide receiver?
Because Dalton Schultz is going to be your number 2. I mean, that's really what it kind of boils down to, and how they'll probably scheme that thing up as Tolbert gets caught up there. And I'm with what Law said a little bit earlier, too. And the thing about Dak Prescott is, whether we're talking about the Cobbs of the world or the Wilsons of the world, you have to remember, Washington had some pretty porous quarterback play the last couple of years that he was up there in Pittsburgh. So he's a little bit under the radar of the signing. I'm not saying he's going to come in here and be a world beater, but linebacker with Dak and what Dak's able to do, I think he's going to get busy for sure. But I think the biggest thing that you're looking at is they're going to get into 12 personnel, which will help for sure with Ferguson and with Schultz. But the other side of things, too, if you look at it, especially last year with Schultz, he'll be the number 2 that's comfortable with it. And that'll be the guy that'll get the work maybe a little bit heavy, as the run game is going to be a little bit used more. The tight end will probably get used a little bit more as well until Gallup gets back, or until Tolbert, gets his footing underneath him in the NFL game and see where he's at.
You ain't scoring 40 points if your tight end is your number.
Go ahead, Scott.
Ain't got nothing to do with this. I was just looking in the chat. First of all, Jay Tuck is doing a phenomenal job of controlling this whole thing. So let me just give him his flowers.
This is Nix's This is Nix's
Hold on, Law. I mean,
hey, let me just say,
that boy good. That boy good.
Scott,
people like get control, my Scott, you got control,
real quick.
We talking
Scott,
about?
real quick, Scott. I gotta push Tuck. Man, get that production up, man. Show these boy faces when they speaking, dog. I'm gonna push you today, big dog. Come on, this never been done before, Tuck. I'm pushing the hell out of you. Let's get it together, man. Come on now, let's get it together. Go ahead, Scott.
This ain't even my platform right now.
Man, go, man. You gotta make it happen, big dog.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, Tuck, this is for you. This for you.
Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is.
Right.
I wake up in the morning, I kiss excellence.
Yeah, I'm saying.
We kiss excellence, baby. Get that pitch on Scott when they start talking, big dog. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, here we go. Got me pressing buttons, man. All right, Law, go ahead and jump in, man. How do you expect this wide receiver core to look? Without Michael Gallup, you got Jalen Tolbert coming in. I know you're kind of high on James Washington, kind of an unproven guy, and we got some unnames. Whether it's TJ Vasher, Simi Fioco kind of floating around in camp. So what's your thought process on the wide receiver core?
Well, I'm letting it hang, as Queen would say, with CD Lamb. I got CD Lamb getting over 113 receptions. I got CD Lamb, he getting 1,300 yards and as well as double-digit touchdowns. This will be his third season. And if they can make him the focal point, like even Amari Cooper on his way out said the other day, if that's the magical word, if CD Lamb is focusing on this offense, everything will work its way out. I truly believe that everybody else, James Washington, Simi Fehoko, if he makes this team, by the way, and Jalen Tolbert, they can be the guys that can help push this thing. But the focal point will be just like Nick said, CD Lamb and Dalton Schultz.
Yeah,
Dalton Schultz.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ron.
Hey, look, I'm afraid to speak.
Nah, you good. You good. You good. You the green now. You the green now.
I'm gonna start coming through like this. Now, I just think that, man, when are we gonna stop giving Kellen a pass on being green? You know, when it comes to scheming up this offense, I think that this offseason is pivotal because this is the first offseason Kellen has heard that he might not know what he's doing, and it's not just from us. It's from his contemporaries, Kurt Warner, et cetera, et cetera. The shine is off of Kellen Moore right now. So I want to see what he really does when he has to go back, as Scott was saying earlier, that, you know, he doesn't have a counterpunch. Well, he needs to counterpunch his whole philosophy because right now people looking at him like he didn't even get serious consideration for any of those jobs he got interviewed for.
Right.
You know, so I'm just curious to see. I know they're not going to show much probably in training camp, et cetera. But when the bullets start flying for real, I want to see his counterpunch. What's he going to do? You know what I'm saying? Right. Because last year, I'm sure if we just go out there and run his current scheme, we will put up the numbers.
Yeah.
That's not what we all worried about. He going to get his numbers. I want to see when that defense comes out there and says, nope, you're not doing that today. What is Kellen going to do? That's the main thing I want to see when we have that struggle first two quarters, that first game. And I want to say, okay, Kellen, you on the clock. Because if he does the thing like y'all was saying earlier where he's like, I'm going to just line Zeke up and run him up A gap. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to just try to get this Dalton Schultz check down going on. We're going to know then that it's going to be a long season. So we're going to have to just see.
Right.
Hey, Rome, I'm going to just say this one more time. With a healthy Dak Prescott, this team would still be number 1 or number 3 in the top 3 as it relates to offense. Think about this. Nobody scored more points than the Cowboys last year, and nobody had more total yards than the Cowboys last year. And, of course, that's without even targeting some of their main targets. I just look at it like this. Kellen Moore, he's still going to have a top 5 or top 3 or top 1 offense. And the thing is, can he improve on this other things like red zone efficiency? I think we were right at 23rd or 24th in red zone. But outside of that, he will always have a place. He will always have a place in Dallas because offense sell tickets.
Yeah, he needs to be number 1, number 2, 3, whatever the hell you want to call it, when it matters.
True that.
When it matters.
Give a damn if you're number 1 against the Giants. Okay, be number 1 against the Cardinals. I don't give a damn if you're number 1 against the Washington football team. Be number 1 against the Niners.
Number 1 against the Niners. Yep. True that.
Hey, that's not you, Law. I'm just saying because I hear that a lot. Like, he had the number 1 offense. Well, where was the number 1 offense then when it mattered?
Chiefs. Where was it? The Chiefs. 9 points.
Put that on
the
sticker. Bumper sticker that.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you guys something. That's a huge knack on him too. Is this man in 17 game season last year, including the playoffs, 18 games, you only scored on 6 opening drives, man. So that lets me know that all your film work that you put together. I mean, because this is the thing. Even bad teams score in their opening drive. You want to know why? Because, bro, you've been watching the film for 4 or 5 days, bro. If anything's going to work, it's going to work right now. Teams will adapt. Teams will adapt as they go along. You know what I'm saying? It's harder to score in the fourth quarter. Why? Because you've been playing them, right? Kellen Moore, that's when I will know if Kellen Moore has actually adapted, because that's how I know the classroom stuff. Because I'm going to tell you, Bruce Arians and Tom Brady in a game that matters, bro, it's going to take more than just throwing plays at these dudes, bro. Like, you're going to have to really go toe-to-toe with these dudes in the film room. So Kellen Moore, when they defer, when these good teams defer and say, hey, we're going to give you the ball first. You want to know why? Part of the reason, because they know that you don't score on your opening drives, right?
But when they do, you better watch out.
Exactly.
That's real talk too.
I did some research on this, Wes, to back you up. if we're not counting week 18, because come on, let's be real. Week 18 was a scrimmage, right?
Yeah.
They had they scored a touchdown on their opening drive one time after week 3. One.
Wow.
Okay, bro. And they only had 3 opening drive touchdowns the entire season. They went 3 and out or down 6 times. If you go look at the Rams, they went 3 and out or downs 3 times in the entire season. The entire season. And to me, that's because McVay's McVay, right?
Yeah.
And they scored on the opening drive 9 times.
Teams are automatic. That means 9 games the opposing team started off down.
Well, Mark, I'm going to ask you this question. So, looking how the team is constructed, though, we all know that Tampa Bay is going to come out and try to stop the run and see if these unproven wide receivers in Jalen Tolbert, James Washington, Simi Fioco, who can actually prove themselves and really stack against the run. So, do you think that Kellen Moore is going to be able to commit to the run game, or is it going to be run to Zeke, you know what I'm saying? Third down,
he's gonna have to.
and then he's going to bail on it. I just don't see him committing. But what's your thought process on that?
Yeah, I'm still sold on the 12 personnel. I think you get Jake Ferguson out there. Here's the thing, at some point you're gonna have to be able to line up and beat the guy in front of you. Okay. If it ends up being that we've got to be in 12 personnel, 2 tight ends and everything else to run the football and make them stop it, then you start go ahead and doing your bootlegs and your play action. Now, and if you can do that, then that's going to open up things for your wide receivers. People are sleeping on James Washington. I still think James Washington could actually play your Michael Gallup role here. He is a deep threat. He kind of got in the doghouse there with Pittsburgh, and you can't really judge last year with Pittsburgh because Big Ben, he's older than me, isn't he? I mean, that guy, he looked like he was just looking for the retirement home. So you weren't exactly getting great passing in there. But if James Washington can actually get down the field there, along with people focusing in on making sure we don't let CeeDee Lamb go, and you still have to worry about Dalton Schultz. If you can get that running game going and using that 12 personnel, you'll be able to do something with it. I still think that you can.
Hey,
hold on. I'm sorry. Hold up. Blow Mark Holmes back up one more time.
Man, wait.
If he goes across your screen, I'm not going to be surprised.
Somebody said Mark Holmes looked like he at the zoo.
I feel like the Raptors.
That's the backyard, man.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Mark looks so comfortable, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Big chilling on his
somewhere.
Jamaican Mark, man, you look just like you in Jamaica, man. With Joe Bo. Hey, man, pour me some, Mark, man. Pour me some, man.
Take a shot for
Salute.
Mark, man. Mark, take a shot for my internet, man.
Yeah, take a shot for the internet, man. Y'all take a shot, internet shot.
Hey, he's drinking Coca-Cola too, by the way. YouTube. Hey, but real quick, I want to jump in on that receiver thing.
Go ahead,
because you asked a question about the receiver and then the thoughts of the receivers. I feel like the receivers are gamble, right? Because of the youth of Tolbert, but then also because you're trying to bet on a resurgence of James Washington, right?
Yep.
And then obviously they want injury away from kind of looking. I need my button. Womp, 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 womp. You know what I mean? They need to remain healthy. Mm-hmm. The issue is this, though. I'm spoiled. I'm very spoiled. Dak has spoiled me. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's too many times I've seen Dak walk in with receivers with no offseason and ball with them, bro. Mm-hmm. Like for real. Yeah. Even his debut when he first came out in LA. He did not supposed to have almost a perfect passing rating because he ain't supposed to have that type of timing with the ones. But the one throw that made me say, "Whoa, what the shit do we have here?" Right? Was when he ran everybody should remember this when Terrence Williams ran a post corner in the preseason, 50 yards downfield, and Dak hit him in that preseason game. And then let's just go forward and let's look at when Dez went down in that season. Mm-hmm. Guess who had to step up? Bryce Butler. And Dez was out for 3 games, maybe 4. And they won all of them. Bryce Butler confidence was up so much that he thought he was the number 1 by the end of the season.
Yeah, true that.
You know what I'm saying? And then obviously look at what happened with the resurgence of Cole Beasley, who had his best year with Dak. right? And then add Cobb to that. He got Cobb paid, right? Then people forget that Amari was looking like he was falling off a cliff before he came to Dallas.
But
and
look,
Dak and Amari,
Right.
with no offseason, was number 1 in yards for 8 games. So, yeah, I'm looking at the receiver room, and it does look, I ain't gonna lie, dusty as hell.
Right.
One injury away from crisis. I'm being honest. One injury away from crisis, but I do trust Will McClay to go get us a bite. I ain't gonna lie. Go get me old Julio, put him with Dak, and I feel like we can rock. I ain't bullshit.
Simply because you don't have evidence that something does exist does not mean that you have evidence that something doesn't exist.
Well, let me ask y'all this. Do you think that they know something in the house with one of the young wide receivers is why they're playing it cool?
I mean, they probably doing what they did with the safety room last year. Go to training camp, let them play for 2 weeks, and be like, "Yeah, go ahead and call the hooker up, man."
Who the hooker this year though?
Yeah, who gonna be the hooker?
Who's that wide receiver we could go get?
Man, it's a wide receiver out there gonna turn some heads.
TJ, I mean, you're so close to training camp financially, it makes more sense to do it that way.
Well,
because
but keep in mind, there's always a Reggie Davis. Now, there's always a Reggie Davis. I want to let y'all know, because they're gonna have me hype out there, and I'm gonna get a lot of views, and then he's gonna disappear.
So y'all think
shout out to Reggie Davis, though, man.
I think they missed the boat. I think they missed the boat when it comes to the wide receiver core. I'm like boss. You know, I'm kind of cool, but we are one hamstring, away from me being like,
I will say this though, the wide receiver room in general is definitely a big giant question mark to start off the year, especially if Gallup is not here. But if Four is playing, just something about it. As long as he's out there, I feel like we'll be in contention no matter who's out there. That doesn't mean he's gonna blow you away. It's gonna be great. But as long as Four is upright, I'm cool. Again, I know this. I hate to keep on bringing it back, but it'll be up to your offensive coordinator to adjust to that, man, and figure out a way. As long as Four is out there, if Lamb's out there, is Zeke out there, is TP out there, is Schultz out there, get them a damn ball.
When do you start looking at Dak? When do you start looking at the opposite way though of that? Because I mean, what you said is phenomenal, man. It's like, why do the organization after 37 touchdowns, wouldn't the Cowboys want to see him throw 50? Like, I'm like, dang, he threw 37. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying you want him to do better. Why would you do things to diminish his abilities?
Well, that's
the stuff that I don't understand about the Cowboys.
I would have kept the other guy that they got rid of, and I don't want to turn this into an entire thing about him. He ain't here no more. But I would have kept that guy because he's going to play. Can you imagine starting the season off with those two?
Right. Your quarterback in this pressure for no reason. There's no reason to keep on asking Dak to be like, that's the type of stuff that Green Bay's asking Aaron Rodgers. He is MVP after MVP. Yeah, take his best receiver and tell him to figure it out. Yeah, you don't do that to Dak Prescott.
It's not a Dak problem, though.
That's the problem. But that's what we talked about earlier. It's really about Pollard. When you look at that, it's about getting Pollard more involved because of the lack of the perceived depth that they have at wide receiver. That's why it's so more important for Kellen Moore to figure it out and get Pollard more involved now.
Facts.
Hey, Chuck, the Cowboys got to stop letting real quick dictate their aggressiveness. That's all it is.
Boss.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if I could ask Vach, BJ, and Big Game James a question real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
All right, so I want to ask all three of them guys because I want to ask Vach because he's an offensive podcaster, BJ because he played both sides, and then I want to ask Big Game because he played defense and he's a defensive podcaster. I got a real good question in my chat about Kellen Moore likely being better in the box. I want to throw that out to y'all three guys and anybody else that want to jump in.
A bet in the box with that.
Who?
Yeah, so Kellen Moore basically moving to the box.
In the booth.
Booth. I gotta be said like that. We said
because when you say box, you think like, damn, they're gonna be a
linebacker. We said different.
Linebacker Moore.
Booth. We said.
Let me just say this too. Let me just say this too.
I know what you meant.
Just look, first of all, people in the chat were like, yo, Vach, why you so quiet? People texting me, Vach, what's wrong? I've been in these situations before, these kind of panels before, and one domino could fall of somebody talking over somebody, and 9 other people going to end up talking over somebody.
Right.
I'm just kind of, you know what I mean, getting in where I fit in, man, because I know me and James can go, I know me and Boss can go. Facts. Like me and everybody can turn this into a 9-hour thing. So I just I'm just waiting my turn. I'm good. I'm good. But as far as Kellen Moore being being in the box, being able to see the field better, I guess is probably what they're asking. I mean, that's the thing. Some coaches like it. Some coaches, would rather be down bottom so where they don't have to go to a phone to, get you, hey, Kellen, this is what I'm seeing on the notepads. Hey, look at the look at this, and they'll just do it like that, as opposed to ring, ring, ring. You know what I mean? So we probably seen Dan do it, because I remember once upon a time, boy that got fired last year, 2 years ago, DC, the coordinator.
Mike Nolan.
Mike Nolan.
The offensive coordinator playing DC.
Look, watch this. Mike Nolan was in the booth, and they was like, Mike Nolan need to come down. Then Mike Nolan came down, and we still kind of trashed him, right? But Dan Quinn went straight to the booth and said, "Fuck y'all, I'm not coming on the floor."
We did trash.
As long as you win, as long as you do good, it don't matter where you at.
Where you at.
So Kellen can coach from your house. Like, long as you winning, it don't matter where you at. But it's up to him, though. It's really his preference or whatever.
They talk a lot during the game, so I don't know how that would, like, if you like sitting in the Miller Lite, and I know I see a bunch of you other guys been there. Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott, they talk a ton during the game. So I don't know if he goes in the booth, I know that goes away. I know that's going to go away.
Yeah, but you see him down there with the
away,
tablet and everything, and they're going over plays side by side there. And it's different when you're talking from up there. If you're right there with the tablet, you can say, look, you see the safety right there? He's kind of biting up in there. We can go over the top of him and stuff. You're kind of right there in real time that you might not be able to do as conveniently when you're up in the booth.
And I think I don't want to
good insight. I like that
question about why doesn't Dak buck the system when it comes to the offense, because him and Kellen are like this.
Hey, I don't want to drop a bomb, but I remember I talked to my I talk to my boy Jalen all the time, right? And one conversation I do remember that we did have about Dan Quinn and his relationship with him is they actually wanted Dan Quinn on the sidelines. And the reason why they said is because, like, Dan Quinn is the type of guy that's like all up in your face and aggressive and stuff like that at practice. And a bunch of the young guys actually they burn off that aggression, off that energy that Dan Quinn brings. And he said one of the things that they would have appreciated was him to be on the side. So they actually went to Dan and asked him. And I'm gonna tell you what Dan said. He continued to do it the way he did it. But I was saying, listen. But you know what I like about Dan? Dan said, you know what? I know for this situation that sounds like a good thing, but for my overall success, I've done it this way, and I'm gonna keep it that way. So and guess what? He got his results. But I say this to say that Kellen Moore, I think Dak don't necessarily need a Kellen Moore in his ear because he's calling a play. I think Dak needs he don't need
John Kitna.
Right? He needs a John Kitna. He needs
he don't need a Kellen Moore. Right. Like, what can Kellen Moore tell him?
Kellen Moore's not corporate.
Kellen Moore gonna say, "Hey,
he needs his Mark Sanchez.
He got to the right depth. You should have threw the ball when he hit the right depth."
Sanchez.
What is Kellen Moore gonna tell him?
Someone hit that 7-yard marker at the top of his route, and he made his in cut. You should have thrown the ball.
Right. He needs someone smarter than him in his ear, not someone that. Because at the end of the day, Dak got to be looking at this dude like, bro, you could not take my job. Right. Just remember, bro, you was my backup.
I hope not, bro.
I'm not saying we not, but I'm just saying my son will never be daddy in my house. You know what I'm saying? He'll never be daddy in my house.
I agree with that. I do want to transition over to the offensive line. So I'm gonna ask Big Game James and Vosh did. So when it comes to the offensive line, that was one of the issues last year, right? We did draft Tyler Smith. Lyle's out. He's on the the PUP list already. You plug in Terrence Steele. But what is your thought process? I'm gonna start with you, Vosh. I know the offensive line is kind of your thing. How comfortable are you with the offensive line moving forward?
It's Mr. Nasty time.
I like that.
Connor Williams wasn't bad.
Hey, I say it. I agree with you, brother. Go ahead.
Boy got quiet.
on running.
Everybody's like, finish that.
But Tyler is different than Connor. Like, they're just different kinds of guys. You're going to be able to do different things with Tyler. So there'll be games we'll be watching film or whatever, and it'll be like Connor McGovern in there because I was pounding on that table. Don't just put Connor McGovern in there because you're sick of Connor Williams. Because the same thing, that they did with Jeff Heath, the anybody but Jeff Heath syndrome, right? And Connor McGovern couldn't get the second level to get them linebackers. Like that was one of the big problems I had with him, and that's how a lot of plays would just like blow up. Connor Williams did that well. Connor Williams gone now. So I think with Tyler Smith, we're not gonna have to worry about big dudes pushing him around. We're not gonna worry about big people taking him on a ride. You know what I mean? I think him playing inside would be better than him playing tackle right now. But there's some magical ass water in Dallas, the way they just take their draft picks and whatever little deficiencies they got, they just fix that shit within minutes or whatever. So I think the offensive line will be fine on the left side, and this is all considering Tyron Smith giving us 12 games, giving us 13, please, if we can pray for it. You know what I mean? I think we'll be fine.
Go ahead.
I think one more thing though, too, and I done probably just took everybody's point here, but Duke Manyweather just puts hands on folks.
Bless him.
So Tyler, both Tylers there with him. You know what I mean? Tyler, badass, and young Tyler, whatever. But then you got Terrence Steele going back for another run of Duke Manyweather. You know what I'm saying? So whatever Duke did to make Terrence Steele the worst offensive lineman I've ever seen in my life, to very much so capable, if they can do that shit one more time, I don't think we'll have a problem at offensive line at all.
Well, let me ask you this, Voch, real quick. Do you think there's competition at the center position? I know a lot of people are high on Matt Farinock, and even Stephen Jones came out and said, it's open competition at center. Do you think that that's the case, or will Tyler B be our center moving forward?
I think it is open competition at backup center. I don't think nobody gonna walk straight in.
Starting center.
If it's really an open competition, do you guys think we should have did more then? Because you guys don't think we should.
I think they believe in Farniok, man. I think it's genuine.
They really do.
They believe in him because when you think about the
press
conference, you always want to be the name that's called when nobody was actually calling your name. You see what I'm saying? So they brought his name up unprompted. That's a big sign of confidence that they have, and it's been a great groundswell against Tyler. So the pushback against Tyler and the public outrage against Tyler, I'm pretty sure they took center very serious.
But I think if we watch film on Tyler, we saw Tyler slowly getting better towards the end of the season. And for a young player, that's what you want, So I'm not here to say just give Tyler, the job. You know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna fight it out, we're gonna get better, whatever. Put a little pressure under Tyler. He hasn't done anything to take the job away from him. It's just it would be based on what we've all seen or just me. I'm just for Vach. Fournier gonna have a hell of an off season, just come in and just be like, all right, it's clearly me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it be Lindstrom or the 27-year-old from fucking BYU that we brought in, or whatever, whichever one of them cats, they're gonna have to have a crazy camp to come in and take Biada's job.
And just to echo what Voch was saying,
different starters.
Starters
from week 1 from last year. 3 different starters to change your center right now.
I wanted to ask Big Game James and Voch one more question. It's okay, Tuck, because I'm
go ahead.
Go ahead, do your thing.
Just real quick, all right, because I'm not gonna fake the funk like I'm offensive line genius. I know I got good eyes, but I'm not gonna fake the funk like I understand the nuance. What's a real expectation, Big Game James and Voch, that y'all would see on Tyler Smith? Because obviously it could be like he's Zach Martin fishing water, which I'm not saying that's gonna happen. Or it can be a traditional learning curve from a rookie. What do y'all see progressing? I'm gonna say within the first 8 games.
Go ahead, James. Because I just cut you off last. So go ahead.
No, you're good. No problem. I think what they're gonna do. The biggest thing what Voch says, that Duke Manyweather thing, that's the which gets you most excited about anything. The same way Terrence Steele developed rather quickly when they put him in that lineup, because we saw the struggles from Terrence Steele the year prior. But when they inserted him in the lineup again, and a lot of us were worried, I know I was like, oh boy, here we go again. But we saw the quickness and the way Terrence Steele developed. And we were like, okay, well, that pushed Leo Collins pretty much out of Dallas and pushed him over to the Cincinnati Bengals because we saw that rapid improvement. I would think with the same thing with Tyler Smith, even though he's a rookie, that you would have a good learning curve messing with Duke Manyweather, so you feel a little bit more confident with him not having those struggles early. But also, when you're talking about the offensive line, what Tuck was asking me, I just wanted to bounce off of, the Connor McGovern thing and Joe Philbin. I think the spotlight has to be on Philbin because he has to develop these guys. When you heard Voch, you heard him talking about Duke Manyweather developing these guys. We don't hear about Joe Philbin. I think it's a critical year for Joe Philbin to be able to continue to get these linemen together, because in 3 drafts, he's had like 6 offensive linemen, but we saw Biadasz regress a little bit. Terrence Steele, we were really acquit Duke Manyweather. We haven't seen Josh Ball. Farrakhan, we don't know. And now you got Tyler Smith, and then you got the Matt Waletzko kid, who a lot of people are high on, but he did come from a small school. So he has to me, continue to develop these guys so this offensive line continue to grow. And then with the Connor McGovern thing, I don't really think he's gotten a fair shot. I know what we saw what he did at left guard and people were frustrated with, but he had never played left guard in his whole entire career. I talked to his father. He played center. He played right guard. They threw him in at left guard, never ever playing the position. He went against Chris Jones. He went against some vaunted guys, so it wasn't like he was going against bums off the street when he started, and I thought he played adequately in that spot. But what I want to know is I feel like he should be able to compete at the center spot because that's where he was All-American at in high school. He was good at center in college. And my thing is if Dallas Cowboys kept on having people away from Connor McGovern, remember people were poaching for him last year, but Cowboys kept him. So my thing is if you kept him from getting picks or things of that nature, use him in a position. You were trying to have Connor Williams and him battle last year, and if that's what his position was, his main position was, why can't he fight at the center position as well if there's an open competition and see if McGovern can do it? Because Bosch was saying he didn't, he wasn't good at the second level at the guard, which is true, but he does have the power that Tyler Biadasz doesn't, and that's what we were complaining about with Biadasz. He has that power, and I think if you could give him a chance at center, he could solidify this center spot too. Not throwing away Biadasz, but if it's open competition, I think they need to look at that.
Yeah,
who's your backup guard? Who's your backup guard if he was to win? Because I think the Cowboys think stupidly like this. I think the Cowboys will think stupidly like this. Okay, James, that's a great point. Okay, now Connor G, you're our center. Now who's your guard? Who's your backup guard? Because I feel like unfortunately we will literally not allow someone to get better at a position or advance in a position just because we want to hold them in this right here. You know what I'm saying? So my question, if he was to win that job, who then becomes your backup guard?
Just what Vosh said, Fournette, because he was the guard center backup regardless. And if you looked at the lineup last year when they had La'el Collins come back, if you looked at the depth chart, they had Connor McGovern at right guard and center as the backup. Those were his two backup positions. They did not have him at the left guard position at all.
And fullback. Don't forget.
And fullback, don't forget. La'el Collins plays the fullback too.
And tight end, But see, I personally think that is
getting past too.
That's a deficiency in how we attack that position. Last year they wanted to. Okay, Connor Williams, can you play center? Let's waste time in the middle of training camp with you playing center. Okay, Connor McGovern, now you're going to practice center and guard during the regular season. Okay, now it's Matt Fourniak's time. You're going to be center and guard during training camp. Just get a damn backup center. When Joe Looney was your backup center, I'm not saying Joe Looney. I know me and Vosh talk about Joe. We've been nobody like Joe, but Joe Looney, he did his job at center. He did what he's supposed to do as a backup. They don't do that. They like to do this. Hey, we got to have versatility. That's cool to a point. But if you have to ask Connor freaking Williams to play center, that means your process in evaluating the backup spot is an issue. And they're doing it again, y'all. I want to see Matt Fournier. He got some good film against the Eagles, but he's a quasi center guard, right? McGovern, quasi center guard. If it don't work out, now what? We stuck. We're going into the season with a iffy backup spot if we don't trust our starter. So I think the process needs fixed.
Well, let me ask you guys this question. I'm gonna kick it over to you, Law. Do you think that Tyler Smith, even though he might start off at left guard, I personally think that he might be our swing tackle. So if something does happen to Tyron Smith, the Cowboys could consider kicking him out the left tackle and plugging back in Connor McGovern at left guard.
I mean, you better put him in a spot where he can learn to stay there. I don't want them changing horses in the middle of the race. That's an old folks saying, by the way. But I just truly believe that this team should look at Ball and Matt Waletzko and train those boys up to be that spot, to be the swing tackle, and let the young Tyler Smith focus and concentrate only on that. Think about this. They got him learning so much so far. Anyway, he's switching from tackle to inside. You got to make sure that all of the training that Duke is teaching him to keep his elbows inside and all of those things. We need Tyler Smith to be efficient right there. That's the closest spot to your quarterback is that left guard. He need to be a staple piece right there. So let him learn that. Don't have him learning too many things. That's just my thoughts.
Can I jump in on that? Because I want to really throw this at it's all the offensive linemen, the BJ Nixes, and saying the Vaches, all of them.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of cool with him playing both because it's almost like you have to anticipate it. You know what I mean? And it would also depend on this training camp on how they do. Obviously, the swing tackles, Ball and Matt. It depends on how they do because see, that ain't nothing to gamble with. That swing, you talking about the blind spot of Dak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's almost like, and I'm kind of torn. So I want to kind of, but I actually am for it because he's a first rounder. You know,
and he was already getting reps at left tackle in OTAs as well. Like,
so
and I think the idea for Tyler Smith is to be the left tackle replacement for Tyrone.
That's ideal. I agree. That's ideal. I agree. But I don't want this kid to try to learn and do too many things.
Trying to learn too much.
Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, jump in, Nick. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just doing too much. It's kind of back to what Scott just said. It's position flex. We're going to get you here, get you there, but we need you to be here and be really good. But just in case, we're going to train you over here. I'm going to understand. Yeah, he's a first round pick, and I love the prospect of what Tyler Smith's going to be. He's never played guard before. He's going to do in the NFL. Let him stick there and do that. And how about this? You drafted with Letzico and you came out and told everybody, that's it. We ain't signing no swing tackle. We got this guy. How about this?
Right.
Just go sign a damn swing tackle and don't have to worry about it. And then train these guys up and do what you need to do. And those are the things that get very frustrating about this offensive line. And we talk about it a lot. We miss a guy has to miss here and there in the offensive line. It feels like the offensive line falls apart, but we see other teams get by just fine because they have actual backups and not these tweener guys that they're trying to, save a roster spot here to do something long over there. Just train the guy where he needs to be and let's get there. I think that's just a frustrating thing. And we see that with a lot of rookies.
Can I co-sign what Nick said?
Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, I just think like I think what Law and what Nick is saying is basically like, remember last year when they tried to give Micah too much, and then when they pulled back, he got to hone in on his skills. I mean, and it didn't unlock a part of his game. He just got to kind of streamline what he was doing and perfect that before he added more back to his plate. So let's let Tyler Smith focus on guard and get that down pat before you trying to flex him out and all that stuff. And then he really starts getting confused, and he can't just be reactionary. He's gonna be thinking too much.
That's where you get your flags, your penalties from, man.
I want to push back just a little bit. Just a little bit. Can I push back a little bit? Just a little bit.
I just want to say this. I'm going to say a point, and you can push back on him.
Okay.
In the NFL, you also got to remember they only have a certain amount of time they can practice these kids anyway. You know what I'm saying? This isn't high school where you can be like, okay, stay after practice and we're going to work on some tackle. You know what I'm saying? When you go to practice, you have X amount of hours to teach this kid X amount of this. If he in the end, I'm 100% what BJ is saying, what Law is still saying, bro, if you only got 4 hours allotted for him to practice that he can practice without you getting in trouble, it needs to be allotted at the position that you think he's going to play the most at. But cutting a guy in the middle and saying, okay, you're going to work 2 hours at tackle, 2 hours at guard, I would only expect for him to be average because he's only devoting half his attention to either job. Right now,
big facts.
He needs to devote his time to the position he's going to play.
Everybody hey, when the big boys give you a drop, man, I know we are hitting on the right page. Look, the offensive line, all 5 of those guys got to be on the same page. All 5 of them. You can't have one guy. You're only as strong as your weakest link. And teams will sniff out and say, oh, we got us a weak one. We gonna penetrate and concentrate on that one area. Look, I'm not an offensive lineman. I'm far, far away from 300 pounds. But I guarantee you, those big boys got to be on the same page. Amen. And they're right. All y'all big boys, y'all let me know if I'm wrong.
So check this out. This is what I want to say about that.
Nick's got mad the last time I used him as an example.
This is my pushback on that.
Come back to me before we move on.
It's other teams.
Same here.
Other teams that I think that's a Dallas Cowboy philosophy to where you stick a guy in one place and then you don't move him. And we do all know that that's generally ideal, right? So I'm not going against the idealism of it, but it's also the fact that we also know that there's a left tackle that is more than likely going to miss you 4 games. And you can be proactive in trying to develop guys and prepare for that type of scenario and still keep it based on competition. It's teams that have done that. So I've featured teams that have done that. West Coast, we've talked about this with Ryan Ramczyk. Yeah, we talked about this with him because he, as a Saint, have played all over that line, and they've prepared him to do that in case somebody goes down. And that's one of the smartest coaches they ever do, and that's Peyton. And we know that. So sometimes you have to anticipate that there's a guy that's going to go down and have a plan for it, and also work in some developmental cross-training reps. The thing is, it's been done and teams do it. I think sometimes we got to open our mind to it because we don't have two bookend tackles. We got one that's looking like he's going to be healthy. We got one that we know go out. It's all going to depend on who the best talent out the three, Ball, Matt, or even Tyler Smith. If Tyler Smith looked like he's more of a fish in water, or moving over the left guard and having still continuity at left guard, maybe by moving up McGovern, there's some flexibility that can still help us get through a couple of games in crisis.
Boss, you can't. I know you know what this means. You can't stretch bad dope. You can't.
I don't know what that means. I ain't never heard that. I don't know what you're talking about.
What does that mean?
I don't know that life. I've never lived that life. I've never had a transaction.
Okay, but what I mean,
I've never had a table. I've never had a pot. I've never had any of that.
Okay, but they say that in HOOOD. You can't stretch bad dope. What I mean is this: you only really good players should be labeled versatile. If you are an average, if not even average, if you are not seen in the NFL as an above average player, you should be focusing on one position until you get good at that position. It's just like Charles Woodson. Charles Woodson was a cornerback. As he got older and older, then he developed into something else. But you didn't see them saying, hey, in the middle of Charles Woodson's prime, hey man, go be a safety now. You know what I'm saying? Let these kids be what they can be first, man. Let them fail.
All I know is Matt Walesko and Ball, they can't get good. They can't get better by watching. They got to get out there on the field. And if you drafted them, you spend draft capital for those guys, then dog it, you got to train them to be the right the swing tackle, what have you. And you just got to stay focused on your team.
Even if they get that kill.
Even if this is my issue right here. This is my issue.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna come down to what the field says.
My issue is that you got to think about the guy, right? So if I know anything about Tyler Smith, I know he can wrestle. I know he's like he's a phone booth kind of dude. I know he's physical. So if I move him to the other side, it'll have to be guard for me because he's just gonna go over there and wrestle over there. But if Tyler had any impediment, if he was bad at anything, it's tackle nuance. So I don't want to take tackle nuance, then switch him to southpaw, put him on the other side.
Yeah, he's not a swing.
And then be like, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? In 4 months. You know what I'm saying? I just think keep it simple for him now. Now, boss, I will say this. If we've moved into next year and Tyron Smith is relatively healthy and Tyler Smith has gotten better, then Tyler Smith can be your swing tackle until Tyron Smith is off his contract, which will be next year. So if you want to make him swing tackle next year, then fine. But I only want to put him right at guard because I know what his tackle film looked like just at Tulsa just 6 months ago. I'm not ready for that. I'd rather him wrestling.
Can I add on something real quick?
Tackle, where's he getting drafted at, Vach? As a tackle, just a flat tackle.
Not good, bro.
But that was why a lot of people had a head scratcher when it came to drafting Tyler Smith because everyone thought as him as a tackle versus a guard because
no. He was projected. He was projected in the
not
draft
first round
as being a guard. As a guard is what I'm saying. As a guard, but it's not. It's a 1 round reach. It is.
But
were there better guards available? Do you guys feel that there were? Because I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't want to go before we move on from to the draft real quick. I need to touch on the swing thing because
go ahead, Sky.
You touched on it, Vach. He is not a swing tackle.
I wasn't calling him a swing.
We have to label that. They already came out and said he's going to play on the left side. Okay, so let me just give y'all a domino effect of why this is a bad idea if they do not go out and get a swing tackle unless Ball or let's go just show off. Okay. You're talking about Tyler Smith, who, like Vach said, his film as a tackle is not great. He shows some traits. So you're moving now Tyler Smith to tackle, and guess who's sliding in that left guard? Connor McGovern. Where do we have issues with Connor McGovern as a guard? On the left side. So now guess who is the middle of your defense or offense on the left side? Tyler Biadasz, who a lot of people don't think, is what he is. Yep. Next to the guy that didn't play well together last year, Connor McGovern. Next to a rookie on the left side. Where do you think the defense is going to attack? The left side of that defense is going to be an extreme liability. Now let's take it a step further. Who's your backup guard when Connor McGovern is there?
That's what I was. That's the question I was asking.
So it's a terrible idea to make him your left tackle, whatever how you want to call it, for 2022. In my opinion, go get you the Cam Irvin or whoever the hell it is, and say, Tyler, while we're doing not the training camp stuff, the OTA stuff. Let's see what you got out there. Let's work with it. But once we start the game plan for the season, you need to be here because we need to be able to have somebody we can trust out there and trust in the middle. We can't have a liability on the left side completely. And I think the Cowboys would have a liability on the left side completely in 2022 in that situation.
And to echo Sky's point,
who are you guys?
Go ahead. Hold on, James.
I want to jump on this with Sky. You just said that though, Sky. That's the point though. What you're saying is we have the problem with the front office then, because you just said it ain't changing. We all talking about this, but they still going to continue to flex positions. They've been doing that for so daggone long. When they draft somebody, they flex them. I mean, as soon as Reggie Robinson got drafted, he was cornerback. Let's move him to safety. Safety moving to corner. And guess what? Where is he at now? He gone.
Out the league.
You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. They keep on. As soon as they get a player, they want to experiment with him. And it's like the frustrating thing is, when is this ever going to change? And that's why I say, Sky, I want to see what Joe Philbin, can he put his foot down and say, hey, let's stop flexing these guys. I want this guy to play one position. I want him here, and I don't want to do nothing else. Can he? That's why I said he got to step up on his end and be able to do better as the offensive line coach. Put your foot down and say, I don't want him to play tackle. I want him playing guard, and let's worry about that next year.
Everybody was friends until we started talking about offensive line. Everybody was doing great. We was all cool. It was kumbaya.
Hey, that's going to be a financial decision, though, because backups cost. The reason why they flex guys, too, is because you give a 2-for-1. Like, the reason why I go to Olive Garden on Tuesday is because 2-for-1 is cheaper.
That's
you know what
I'm
saying? Like, you feel me? I'm not trying to spend $40 on a Wednesday. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know the sad thing about this debate is we go see this debate. And this is a real debate.
In real life.
We gonna see it.
This
same thing. This gonna likely happen where Tyron go down, and this gonna be like, damn. Like, see, and this is the conversation the war room need to have exactly right now on how they go work out this contingency. Because I'm on one side, everybody else against me. I'm cool with that. But at the same time, this is gonna happen. Like,
where did Tyron Smith play his rookie year? Where did Tyron Smith play his rookie year?
He played right tackle.
Right tackle.
Was he projected to be a left tackle?
Yeah, of course.
Why didn't they put him on the left side when Doug Free was having problems?
I mean, look at Zach Martin.
Yeah. So you know how it goes. We went to the playoff. We went to the playoff. Tyron Smith rookie year.
History though. That's the Dallas Cowboys history. That's my point.
We didn't go to the playoff with a stack of year. I know I saw him at right tackle.
We didn't go to the playoffs too.
And just to kind of confirm it, I think Scott talked me off that ledge because when I heard it from Scott's standpoint and when he broke down the dilemma of my idea, this is the issue when I heard him talking. You then have 2 developmental players instead of 1. So if you keep Tyler Smith at left guard, then you got 1 developmental guy. It's just that you got to trust that left swing tackle, whoever that might be. So I don't just stay on the ledge. I don't. You know, if it makes sense, I get off the goddamn ledge. But I'm just also saying that I would hope that we still kind of maintain the openness on some cross training because teams have effectively done it. You know what I'm saying?
So you guys would feel more comfortable with having let's go starting at left tackle and then Tyler Smith at left guard if something happens to Tyron Smith.
I don't know let's go playing at all this year.
Right. But it's this gonna come up
but we already know those. That's what
they hyping him. They hyping him to be the backup swing. And that's the problem. What I'm worried about, if we're talking about what everybody's saying, let's go out with what Wes is saying, what it was some I think Sky said, let's just go out there. You got money to spend, right? Dallas has some money here in the bank, right?
$23 million.
You got money in the bank. Go get a specific position. Go get a specific veteran to make them feel that need because I don't feel confident. I know y'all don't either. When you got a guy from a small school, Matt Waletzko, I don't care how much potential he has. I don't care how good he is. He is not ready for the NFL
he
right
better
now.
Have a killer
if you put him in as a swing tackle and Tyron Smith go down, it's going to be absolute disaster. the money and get somebody because they got the money to do it. They got the money to do it. Go get somebody.
That's the first domino that can really fall. That will probably fall with this offensive line.
With everything you know about Tyron Smith, realistically, you should be looking for his replacement. Facts.
I think Tyler Smith is the replacement.
He's the future's replacement.
Tyler Smith probably is a replacement.
So then, who's Tyler Smith's replacement?
Man, they better cross
next year. The drafting time. Next year, man. They drafted the guard next year.
You gotta honestly say when you look at Tyler Smith and his athletic ability, you can honestly say he is eventually going to be that left tackle. He is not going to stay at that left guard. The way he is moving, the way he is training, he is going to left tackle. That is going to be Tyron. So then next year,
and that was my whole point of bringing up Tyron Smith playing at right tackle. We all knew that he was eventually going to play on the left side. So the same storyline for Tyler Smith. Even though he's at that left guard right now, he's eventually going to be that left tackle. But like what Vaught said, he got a lot of stuff that he still got to work on and improve. Especially, we don't want to see a 30-yard play down the field and then we see the flag monsters, right?
Yeah, and
I just hope all that Duke Mayweather training really, like, cause see, I was talking to the OC, and the OC was saying when he was critiquing Tyler Smith that a lot of times what was causing a lot of his holding penalties, and obviously all the offensive linemen, y'all step in here and let me know if I'm tripping. Because I'm repeating OC, but he was talking about how that he was keeping his hands outside a lot, and he was saying if he would have got his elbows down, right, and he would have kept them closer, that he would have been able to have a better punch, more power, and he's able to basically not even get those holding calls because it was too obvious the way he was keeping his hands. So you saw that, BJ? Am I tripping? I want to make sure I'm confirming that with the offensive line guys.
I mean, it's technique. I mean, and
his technique was off. So I said all that to say, is it possible? And I want to just push this back to the offensive line guys or anybody that, not just even offensive line guys, anybody that got an answer on this. But is it possible that Duke is just so goddamn? I mean, it's so cold at training these guys that they can actually be prepared. Just like he prepared Steele, because let's all be honest, we all was panicking our ass off when we heard Steele was going to be starting against the Chargers. Let's be honest. We all was talking about put Zach Martin at right tackle. We was trying to think of all kind of solutions, but then Duke
Zach Martin told us no.
Zach Martin did tell us no, but Duke showed his offseason work. Is it possible, and I'm just throwing this out to anybody, is it possible that Duke can have him ready for a cross train? I'm just throwing that out there.
Go ahead, Mark. Jump in.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. At least Terrence Steele had 13 games the year before as a background. You're talking about now a guy cold start because everybody comes out in the NFL eyes wide open. That's not to say he won't get better as the season goes on. Micah Parsons was good in the beginning of the season, but he was great by the end of it. Diggs was okay in the beginning of the season. He became a really good by the end of
year two.
And now you're talking about taking a guy and saying, okay, we're going to have you be playing at guard. And we're going to flip you over to tackle. There's 14 padded practices in training camp. That's it. And the best players that he was facing in college, he's facing them every week from day one. I would rather try and keep him, focus in on either being a guard or tackle, but you don't have enough time to be able to try and learn both of those nuances from Jump Street. I just don't think that you're there. You need to focus in on one spot and one spot only, because you can take a look at Terrence Steele going after even having the year before at starting, going from the right to the left, how much of a transition that
it was bad.
That was
he was terrible. That's when you look at the offensive line, all of a sudden look like crap because we were playing musical chairs with them. He's a right tackle, keep him over there at right. And so don't try and put too much on the guy's plate at the beginning.
Man. When he takes over Tyron Smith's position as a tackle, that will be his first game in the NFL playing as a tackle. And I'm asking you guys a question because we don't ever have good luck. And what if Tyron Smith, what if we need him to go over and take over Tyron Smith's spot before we have a replacement at guard? Then what do you do? That's the reason why I said you should realistically be looking for Tyron Smith's position outside of T Smith, because realistically, what if because you already know Connor, they're not even saying it's a competition for guard right now. Like, they're saying it's a competition for center. They're saying all this other stuff, but they're not really saying it's a competition. They basically said the rookie got the job. So that makes me feel that Connor G is not going to be good. So it's like, what if you need him to slide over? Then where do you put the hole at? Like, there's going to be a hole somewhere.
So basically,
he'll be the guard if Tyler moves over. But if Tyler don't move, then you'll just put Waletzko at left tackle. And if Tyler got to go to left tackle and McGovern got to play the guard and Biotis do something, then what's his name will come in. Fournier would just and it'll just be a $23 million
though. I can't say this though from the panel, and I appreciate this panel. This debate really highlighted something I wasn't seeing, that the swing is actually not as maybe y'all been saying it. I ain't been saying it on my channel. I'm gonna just be honest, but it's one of those things that I'm gonna now start saying, because this panel has opened up my eyes aggressively that there's a deficit also at swing.
I've been saying on my show that the swing tackle position, in my opinion, is the most important reserve spot on this entire team.
Yeah,
and that's facts over the last how many years, y'all? So when did we draft Tyler?
Swing. Swing has been a secret. Yeah, it's been a secret since Chaz Green. It's been a secret.
Think about it.
Chaz Green, don't know.
When did we start hearing about Tyler Smith playing at left tackles when Tyron Smith had the injury in OTAs? They just moved him out. Plug McGovern, so it's like
it's back. He woke up and his back.
It's his back. His back's tight.
Tied in the second, man. Boy, we've been having some issues.
This is what they're banking on, and this is my last thing on the swing. They better not wait too long. I'm okay with let's 2 weeks in the camp. If there's nothing there with Ball or with Let's Go, then let's go and go get somebody. Because we cannot play around with that spot. Get a guy in here so we can get up the tempo with the team, with Dak and all this stuff. Because you're playing the Tampa Bay Bucks, you're playing the Rams, you're playing the Eagles, you're playing teams that are going to put pressure on you if Tyron happens to go down early on. And you need that guy to have some symmetry with the rest of the squad. So
and you need this starting offensive line to play in preseason. You need these guys. You need to know before the first preseason game.
Tyron's gonna sit down to Tampa Bay.
I
know. Don't give him not one.
We don't need to see it at all.
At
all. Preseason.
How about 4 then? 4 got
4. Yeah.
Terrence Tyler. So it's gonna be Matt Waletzko, Tyler Smith, Biotis. It's probably gonna be McGovern at right guard, and it's gonna be Terrence Steele. That's gonna be your 4 weeks of preseason, mess that we do till it's week 1. Zach Martin finna sit his ass down. Tyron Smith finna be in a chamber somewhere.
But here's the problem, bro. If you sit Tyron Smith and Zach, you can't throw 4 out there.
Hey, you can't take 4 out.
You say you wanted 4 in there. That's what I'm saying.
No. I do. I do. This is
Tyson want to run the ball. That's why
Tyron Smith. If if Zach Martin's not on the field, then Dak Prescott, man, that's too much money. Like, that's just like if you have 3 question marks on the offensive line, that means you're more or less trying to figure out what you're doing with the offensive line and not what you're doing with the quarterback. So the quarterback, and you put Will Greer back there. Will Greer, let's see if you can run when the whole world's after you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would rather evaluate my quarterback in that situation. You know what I'm saying? But since we are talking about it, I do believe Zeke needs to play. I believe some of these starters need to play, man. I do believe it, man, because we use
Zeke rarely played preseason, though, by the way.
No, I think Dak's going to play.
If you're going to play Tyron Smith,
they're not running Zeke in preseason.
And it's going to be hard to pull Dak up out of there, too. Dak going to want to get out there.
Dak going to have to get out there.
Dak going to get out there, but
Dak needs to sit down. Dak,
what does Dak need to show?
He can't.
What does Dak need to show?
Not with this wide receiver core. You need to see live action with James Washington, Tober, whoever the hell else.
Bingo.
Good point.
Okay, so when is that going to happen, though?
I'm still
you saying that's going to happen when? Are you going to do that the 3rd preseason game?
Is it Chargers game? When's that Chargers?
I'm sorry.
August 20th.
That's going to be a series because.
Let me say this: if I almost would rather treat the preseason like the joint practices.
Yeah.
Let Dak do his thing with them against the LA Chargers and the Denver Broncos, and then if you feel comfortable how you looking out there, come on, have a seat next to me, Dak Prescott. During the preseason. It's only 3 of them things.
I was talking about backup quarterback position. That's what we
Dak last name should be instant chemistry.
And
look
be
at the
honest,
talent we play coming out the gate. Like we gotta be bussing coming out.
I understand,
the
but
gate,
it's really look.
We was
one
busting
playoff
up,
game, real quick.
Last year,
One preseason game.
and did what he did to Tampa Bay. Just
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, recovering off the shoulder. He did.
But
He
that
did
was with the three-headed monster.
I mean,
though.
if
That's
you
a
play
three-headed monster, you got. You know what
Right,
I'm
but
saying?
if Dak plays one preseason game, right?
You want your
one,
defense to be good against Tampa Bay.
How many reps is he gonna get? How many times is he gonna throw the ball?
I think you get 2 series. I think the dress rehearsal will be the second preseason game because you only got 3. So the dress rehearsal will be the second preseason game. I think game 1 he'll do the opening drive and that's it. And then he probably ain't gonna do it all.
He's only gonna play that main game that they want to see.
I'm down with him playing 2 and 3 though. 2 and 3, I'm down with it. Week 1,
he doesn't need to play 2 games for what? He needs to play one game if you're gonna play him. And it's that the main game. It's Dak Prescott. Y'all just said earlier in the show that Dak makes people better. Dak makes people better. So if Dak makes people better, then why does he need to play?
Hella 5-point West. I heard that.
Why does he need to play?
I heard. So hold on,
bro.
I just heard West Coast make a good point. I just heard your
the
point
receivers
too.
need
the receivers.
Right.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
In 2022, Dak is gonna have to grow in coverage. So
that's not a bad
point.
So 2 series boss. So 2 series with Jalen Tolbert with boss with Dak Prescott's gonna prove something to us.
Dak throwing something to Jalen Tolbert right now.
Let me say this.
At the house. That's what
West Coast.
Y'all remember when Amari Cooper came off injury and played?
I kind of agree with that because put some lights on Tolbert with Dak. Just put a little bit of lights on him. Because remember, Gallup, when he was a rookie, got him a fade. You telling me that didn't get his juices going in San Fran? When he took them balls deep?
In theory, what West Coast is saying is correct. But I think the Cowboys have seen enough of Dak getting guys on short notice or not having much practice rep or years with them and performing. Here's what I mean. Here's what I mean. Amari Cooper was brought in here in the middle of the season and they clicked right away.
There was no
Randall Cobb came in. He ain't played no years with Dak Prescott. Clicked right away. James Washington. Now we don't know what James is going to do. But James Washington, CD Lamb. CD Lamb. But he didn't have a number of years with Dak Prescott. Clicked right away. So that's why I'm asking if they could treat those practices, those live reps against Denver and LA like preseason. Then I'm okay with him resting.
I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, that's the balance.
Because Dak, we've seen Dak click.
Yeah, Dak last name is instant chemistry.
Yeah. But Dak needs to allow Dak to let it go this year because listen, I know we don't want to admit, but that Amari Cooper did a phenomenal job with his own feet getting open. But we don't really have a lot of people on this team that can really do that. So that means my quarterback is probably going to throw more interceptions this year. Just being real.
But I want to jump in on that. Talking about that middle ground though. So Scott not saying
want to run the ball so much he's sabotaging Dak. This is
no, what are you talking about? The last time we ran the ball, Dak won the league. Dak was the rookie of the year. The last time we ran the ball like we ran the ball, Dak won rookie of the year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, he
not that though. He not that no more.
Funny, man.
He ain't that Dak no.
He was just
go ahead, Ron. Go ahead, Ron. Jump in, bro.
Nah, I don't even want to switch the subject. I wanted to go back to the roster construction. I just need the Cowboys to stop letting circumstances dictate their aggression in building the roster. They don't need to wait until the swing tackle thing fails. If you got questions about it, go fill it. Stop being. You just let let circumstances dictate when they do stuff. Like they want Anthony Barr. They want Anthony Barr, but they want to watch our linebackers fail first and be like, well, let's call them. Like they got to stop waiting.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Can I be a devil's advocate to your devil's advocacy though, big dog? I stole that.
I do that.
Yeah, I stole that. I stole it here. But at least I gave you credit, big dog. So
I don't even know if that makes sense, but go ahead.
I know, right? But it's sometimes waiting to see how things worked out. It worked, right? Because it was also a groundswell of people saying we need to go bring in a defensive end because Tank went down. When the answer was to throw Michael Parsons out there in that 3-4 defense, which they did, and he lit it up. And they never thought about getting anybody else. So I think it's a little bit of a mix. I think it's what you're saying, Rome, and just in my opinion, and a little bit of West Coast, where let's go see what these safeties look like, which was West Coast's example before we go get Malik Hooker. You know what I mean? To where we're so close to training camp, and sometimes let's see what these young guys can do. Just in my opinion. But you're right, the time is against us, and I do feel the urgency.
It's circumstantial though, because what you're saying, it's still
circumstantial. Yeah, it's still circumstantial.
The word was sometimes it works a week, and sometimes it doesn't.
But see, once you spend that money gone. You know what I mean? So
that money is well spent on a
wipe the card, man. Wipe the card, man. It ain't your money. Cowboys fans be acting like it's our money, bro. Like,
but no, it ain't. That's to a degree we got to.
Brother, Rams were negative in their bank account and won a Super Bowl. Their fans don't give a damn.
So now you fight
the Rams. The Rams
you fight your own point now.
They have no.
Right.
He fight his own point because you was making the point that we so close to training camp that we need to let these guys play it out to kind of see when we need to invest.
No, I'm not saying that's my point. I'm saying no. I'm saying that's what they're gonna do. That's what I'm saying. That's what they're gonna do.
Okay, you saying that's what they're going to do. That's not saying you.
Yeah, Jerrynomics says that's what they're gonna do.
All right, cool.
Dude, I'm with Scott.
That boy say spend the money, it ain't your money.
I see Boss over there powering up, but now I want to switch over to the defensive side of the ball, right? Because a lot of people
that could be a whole goddamn show.
I'm like, put this up in 2 shows.
We 2 hours in.
I'm gonna do it real quick because I gotta.
Oh no, you can't do that. Hold, screw that. I'm a defensive guy, man. You can't do that shit quick.
No way.
Right. The defense gonna have a whole conversation.
Hey, we still didn't answer this question about the offensive line. The key question is this: the goal is to always get the 5 best guys on the field at one given time. Who are the 5 best guys?
Oh,
start
You talking about offensive line?
Tyler,
I'm agreeing with whatever you say,
Tyler.
Whatever you say, I agree. Whatever you say.
Tyler, Zach, Steele, right?
That's it. Okay, agree. Let's go.
Like you need to put that on the shirt. That's a shirt for real.
Yeah.
TTT. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, we know that's it.
Yeah. So y'all want to go to the defense?
Yo, I just noticed that.
I just looked over
Tyler, Terrence.
We are at 2 hours and we ain't said nothing about defense yet, boy.
That's
what
I'm saying. That might be a whole nother. But go ahead.
We got to go grab the Hennessy, man.
Let me go get my pizza.
Hey, man, if y'all grab the Hennessy, I'm about to grab my blue.
If y'all let me go get my pizza, bro.
Go ahead, Wiz.
If y'all let me go get my pizza, I'll sit here. I'm good.
Let's cook.
Go grab your pizza, man. We can't gloss over the defense.
In about 5 minutes myself.
All right, everybody.
We got 2 all-pros on the defense, man. We got to talk about.
We're gonna take a brief intermission.
Don't take no intermission.
I'm answering some chat questions.
No, don't let me make y'all take an intermission. I'm just hungry.
Hey, man.
I'll be right back too.
Go ahead, do y'all thing. And whoever stays here, we're gonna answer some chat questions. So everyone in the chat, go ahead, send some questions. Hey, Wes, hold on, Wes. There you go. We'll get you up out of there. Everyone, go ahead. And
you should have kept Wes in there because Wes will answer every question in this piece.
No.
Smoke weed every day.
Doing your thing, because we can all take a break and just let Wes do this, and he'll talk the whole time, and then when we come back, we'll be good.
We can come back. Everybody go do what you gotta do. Want to take me a 5 minute? I ain't
go. Everyone go take you a 5 minute. Whoever stays here, we're gonna answer the questions in the chat. Y'all keep
I'll be right back.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna kick you out, but I'm here.
Oh man!
So I got
donations.
The donations. So Law, you got some super chats you want to read and answer?
Oh, they far down the line. I can't even see them no more. But shout out to Coach Marv. He said something about Anthony Barr. What's y'all thoughts on that? And then Queen, thank her for making the donation over there. She was just saying, just go Cowboys or let them hang. So y'all let them hang over there. So appreciate everybody who decided to donate. I really appreciate that. The Oxnard Fund.
Amen.
I'm gonna ask y'all this, man. Do y'all got a lot of Eagles fans that support y'all channel?
Yeah, we got some Eagles fans in the house too.
Yes, Eagles fans in the house. They donating. So my guy Alex asked, he asked, who's all going to camp? So I know Vach gonna be at camp. What days he gonna be at camp, Vach?
5th through the 10th. Me and Will still gonna be out there.
Okay, 5th to 10th. Law, you going out there?
I'll be there. I
What's the move?
can't
Are we
announce
done?
the dates, but I'll be there.
Okay. And I know, and Mark, you gonna be out there as well?
I land in LA Monday morning, the 1st, and I'll be there at practice Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, head on out.
Okay. And then
And I'm hoping I'll be there with nothing but the best.
I know Big Game James.
I'll be there during
there.
that time frame.
Y'all got me feeling hella weak because I ain't gonna be out there. I was supposed to be out there. You know, that they did us dirty with that Charger scrimmage. I was all planned up. I had hotel, everything to go to that Charger scrimmage, and I guess it's just for Chargers season ticket holders to get first dibs to it. So I was like, so I'm good. So so go ahead, Mark. Do you got any super chats? Do you want to read out right now?
Oh, I get tons of them.
Okay, go ahead.
I got my man Alan Williams. I got my man Mark Hutton. I got my man Brother Ross. I got James Vito, Blue Virus, who's always stuffing the ballot box here. John Jones, Reggie Hart, James Snyder, Mark Hutton again. Primetime Phil, shout out to Primetime, Hakeem Delpha, and Aaron Willinskez. So shout out to all of them for support. Shout out to everybody because everybody's been in here for going on 3 hours.
Yeah, man. We're trying to break the internet, and so this is big. This is big, and I appreciate everyone for taking the time to do this.
I even have my wife peeping up here like, when you gonna be done?
At least
I just got that tone too.
At least I'm hosting and not Knicks, man. Because if it was Knicks hosting right now, man, y'all.
We'll be here till midnight, bro.
Midnight,
I'll be gone. Y'all be till midnight.
Knicks called me the other day, like at 2 a.m. Like, bro, what you doing? We going to Twitter space. I was like, nah, not tonight. Not tonight, fam. But yeah, salute to everyone who's tuning in. Like I said, this is all about the community, all about Cowboys Nation getting revved up for the season, for camp, man. We excited. So, I'm not going to be out there at camp. I'm definitely going to be out there at the game. So if y'all see me, say what's up. Get a Cowboy reader. I know my guy Scotty had a Cowboy reader. I got to get a law Cowboy reader, man.
No doubt. Hey, let me read this one out. This is from the homie. This is from the homie Kelvin Gray with a super chat, man. He said, how do I get to be a part of the Cowboys Avengers team?
Hey, man, everybody's a part of the Cowboys Avenger team. So the channel stream that we have has a limit of only 10 people. So I can only invite 10 people on the stream. It can't go over that, But, we can continue to do this throughout the season. It's all about the voice of the community, because what I believe the community has the voice. Y'all see the impact that we have. Everyone supports us here and there. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about us as a community. So it's just like, it's not just the 10 you're seeing right here. It's everybody. Whether you interact with us on Twitter, you donate in the chat. We all Cowboys Nation. We always all pushing for the same thing. So,
he got a second part to that question. He says, what are the things that most concern you about the Cowboys this season?
And that was definitely what I was going to transition into, which we'll talk about here next on the defensive side of the ball.
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore.
I said we talked about by half of them.
Yep. We went 2 hours, not even mentioning Dan Quinn.
Yeah. I got to the top of the hour, man. I got to the top of the hour.
Yeah, and I got about to the half of the top of the hour.
I got 2 minutes.
We all made.
If anybody has to drop, y'all can go ahead and drop, because like I said, we on restream, not OBS.
Hey, can we please do this again, though? If we're going to do the defense as a whole, I would love to do this again and not have to rush this shit.
Yeah, we can probably do a part 2.
Hey,
y'all want to do a part 2?
Real quick. Hey, shout out to Rose. Shout out to Ronnie Price. Appreciate you. Shout out to the Bishop. Appreciate you for doing your thing. Cole Dyer, Donald Holes, you already know what it is. Chris Hagan, appreciate you for tapping in. My boy Neil, crazy ass Neil, appreciate you. My boy celebrating 6 months of sobriety. Salute. My boy Ty, appreciate you. My boy Jay, appreciate you. My boy Loyal Cowboy, appreciate you. My boy 805 Vaughn, appreciate you. My boy and Bonnie, appreciate you. And Miss Denise, I love you. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
if we're doing shout outs, I'm not streaming live, but I just gotta give a shout out to the Bomb Squad. Bomb Squad! Pause for that. For that, Bob.
What you say that?
So y'all let me know what's up, because we didn't talk about this. We kind of going off the cuff. Do y'all want to come back and do defense?
I would love to come back. I can't stay on.
I mean, as much time and depth that we put in there, there's nothing worse than making the defense the redheaded stepchildren. Come on.
They're the most important piece.
If we're gonna win a Super Bowl, especially early on the season, we need that defense to kind of take care of business.
I'm with it
And
Tuesday
I'm
night if y'all
excited
with it.
about the defensive line. I mean, I could go for hours just talking about the
All
defense.
right, so we're gonna call this
Tuesday
is
night, I'm with
Avengers
it.
Infinity War, and then we're gonna do Endgame here next. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. That way we can all stay married because I want to be able to come out and play again with my friends.
Right. Take care of your house and home first. Well, hey, everyone in the chat, I appreciate y'all for all the support. This was big. We're going to link up and come back and address the defense. We appreciate all the support, all the shares, all the likes. Appreciate everyone on the panel for taking the time out of their Sunday evening for cheers, Mark. You know what I'm saying? Cheers, whatever you drink. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get my guy vodka drink, man, versus some sauce. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
I had some wine, man. I had a little wine. You know what I'm saying? I had a little
The Cowboys, you need the hard shit.
Hey, I'll be at training camp Wednesday. Hey, man, listen, man, y'all come to California, bro. Y'all better get in touch with your boy, man. If I come to your state, I promise you, I'm looking for you. Mark Holmes, if I come to DC, I want them damn wings that everybody keep telling me about.
But look,
I heard about them.
we're gonna rename the outdoor studio the zoo. Okay, somebody said I look like I'm at the zoo. This is the zoo, and you have an open invite to come down and have some Jobu wings.
Are they made on the grill though? Are they really made on the grill? I need to know.
They good, man.
I can do them on the grill too, but that, the real ones are deep fried. I mean, but I can do you some on the grill too.
Because we ain't got it like that in Cali. We don't got it like that. I told my lady, our barbecue food is Mexican food out here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no. Well, we can now listen. Now that's a whole different ball of wax now because we can do the pulled pork, we can do those ribs, we got it. We can do anything, and we kind of roll during the season. Whoever we're playing, we kind of get a little food, and a little taste from that area and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My man Vosh has been here. He's thrown down. My man Law's been here.
Vosh, you've been there, Vosh.
Vosh, I'm trying to lose weight now. Vosh trying to lose weight.
Oh yeah. When you come here, you might come here hungry, but you go home drunk and fed. That's the way you leave.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I heard how you get down, man. I didn't heard how to
It's good, man. It's good food.
Next year when y'all come down here to Kansas City, I got you.
West Coast, you're gonna be down on Wednesday the 3rd.
I'll be down. Yeah, Wednesday.
All right, I'm gonna be there. So here's what I've done, man. I basically have invested into a new set that's a portable studio. I got my outside Wi-Fi. In fact, I just got my backup battery over here, so that way we can live stream from the parking lot, in the bleachers, whatever.
Spent $10 million on this. You put so much money.
You got to invest in yourself, man.
It's terrible connection out there in Oxnard unless they fixed it up, man.
Yeah, I tell you what, Law. With this Wi-Fi set, I had 4G with 2 bars out in the middle of a field, and I was live streaming perfectly.
We'll
see.
Jerry scrambled the signals out there.
Last year he didn't want us posting.
They had drones out there looking for us last year.
Yeah.
What's going on in here, man? Y'all talking about
hey, the chat calling us old, man. The chat's calling us old, man. Because they saying that we gotta, tap out. But
we can go up forever. For everybody that's going, I'm gonna let you know, man. From what I'm hearing, just from a camera tactical expert, I heard that they gonna be looking for the cameras in the live streams. You know what I'm saying? That's what my people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so they want to shut it down, man.
I mean, this is the thing, man. Like. That's why I started this thing off by saying it's us versus them. You know what I'm saying? The Cowboys weren't even into YouTube until 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Until 2 years ago. So it's like, man, they're going to come to a point where they value their content. And I know a couple of us have already gotten contact about it. If you've been contacted by the Dallas Cowboys, raise your hand. You know what I'm saying? Raise your hand if you've been contacted by the team. Okay, there you go. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. This year we got to be a little bit more tactical. That's all.
Let me echo you a little bit, West Coast. I want to just say it's us and them.
And them.
And the reason why I say us and them, and not boo-booing on your point, because some of those people actually rock with us. You know what I mean? Right. And I see the bridge closing.
They not them though. They not them though.
Yeah, I'm not talking about them.
Those
people are.
I say them. I don't mean y'all. I mean them.
Look, watch this though. Because watch this though. We on the internet. KG is a fantastic dude. Him and Reggie, shouts out to KG and them, but I mean 105.3 mess with us, so it's different. Shouts out to Jeff and Dave. Jeff and Dave love us. You know what I mean?
Right.
.com right with us. So
exactly.
So when you saying them, you talking about people that hate the independence of what we do. That's what you.
I'm saying people who feel threatened by what we do instead of saying like we're enhancing. There are people who feel like, because there's two types of people in the industry. They either feel like we enhance what the Cowboys are doing, or they feel like we're diminishing. We're taking their products. You know what I'm saying? We're you know what I mean? And there was a time where they felt like that.
How the hell you don't know that we benefit them?
You know, Oxnard is gonna be real nice, everybody. You know, I can't wait to get out there to have a great time. You know,
man, if you don't know that we benefit them by now,
what happened to us at training camp?
No, you're right though. I remember both of y'all got bullied.
No. But what my vision was. It's just to bring everyone together and break the barriers that I support all these brothers.
Your damn act together.
And it's about us and the community, you know what I'm saying? And what we bring to the Cowboys community. So it's what it's all about right now. So we're going to pause it right now. This is Infinity, you know what I'm saying? Infinity Stones right now, part 1. And then we're going to circle back for part 2 and really dive into the defense because people got things to do. Everyone's very busy. You know, hey, boss.
Before I go,
man, I'm ready for the overtime.
It's my mama's birthday, so I got to dip at 6.
Yeah,
people gotta go. People gotta go. We got things to do. People gotta report to camp. So we're gonna circle back around. But we appreciate everyone, all the support, Cowboys Nation. We're getting ready for camp tomorrow. And like I said, I appreciate.
Before you end on this, I need flowers to be done publicly real quick. I was wanting to start with Mark because he was the first one talking when I was going to say this. And 10 of y'all don't talk to this day.
What did I do now?
No, listen. I appreciate you. Can you put that back up? Oh, go back to the thing.
Oh, that hairline is ridiculous. Your hairline is ridiculous, bro.
Best barber in town.
Best barber. I need his number when I come to town.
Adrian's a beast. Don't get me. Look, salute to Mark, man. OG and OGs in this thing. He came to Harrisburg and he gave me one of his handcrafted, man. He laid it at my door, man. Not too many people would do that. I appreciate that, Mark. I still have that in my studio right now.
No problem, man. We all in this shit together, man.
Facts. Right. Nick's hit me up years ago. I will never forget the first conversation we had on Facebook. It was about a potential Jamal Adams situation. I remember that, Nick. I will never forget that conversation. From there on, you was thorough and you've been thorough. Big game James, it wouldn't be a name Skywalker if it wasn't for James. He's the one that called me Young Jedi, Young Skywalker, and I decided to roll with it. We done late night hype crew with Law. Y'all know how that is, man. That's literally day one since we've been rocking. Salute to you, big homie. Keep doing your thing. Law, Saint OG in the game, man.
Appreciate it, man.
You've definitely helped me grow outside this thing. Everybody says that, but it's the truth, y'all. Like Law really do help everybody in the community outside of this thing. So salute to him. Boss, we've had tons of conversations off air. You're absolutely crushing it on the scene since you came on this scene. One of the most thorough, independent thinking content creators out there. I want to make sure I give you your flowers as well. West Coast, man. I don't think there's nobody in Cowboys community like West Coast. You want to talk about unique? This man give it to you in a different way, and he keep it a bean. Whether you like what he say or not, West gonna be West. Come on, man. You put this all together, bro. Like I would better do this shit. I'll tell you that right now. I would better put this whole thing together. So salute to you, bro. You've been killing it as well. And just keep rising. And then of course my brother Vach. What can I say? You stepped into the lane that I think is going to help open up everything for us with the volume. And I appreciate you for just allowing me to come through, man. You my brother, you know that. But keep killing it, man. All of us together, this is truly some Avengers shit, bro. And that's why I said I want to do this again, man. So I love y'all like brothers, man. Keep killing it. I'm here if y'all need anything. Y'all know that. I talked to all y'all off air before. So love y'all, man.
Facts. Yeah. Anybody else got something to say before
I want to close. I
got
Mine gonna be similar to Scott and what he did because that's definitely something that's deserved. I see this group in two different ways. I see the pioneers. I see the new booties. And shout out to the pioneers. First, I want to start with the pioneers. I want to start with West Coast. First of all, brother, we co-hosted for 2 years. We rocked it. I learned the game. I wouldn't have been in the game without you, bro. One of the biggest days of my life is when we was talking, and I didn't even have a name, Boss Cowboy. And you said, bro, I'm with a 7-footer. And you know that you didn't know it, but that also gave me a lot of confidence in my ability to do this, and I appreciate that, big dog. Vach, obviously, you a super OG in the game. You kicking down doors. There's a mastery to what you do. It's an art to what you do. And people that's creative really recognize the true creative side of you. You got some genius in you, bro. And your film sessions are crazy. I think one of the craziest film sessions I ever remember you doing was Michael Parsons, and you was doing a side by side with Devin White.
Y'all gonna make me cry, man. I thought ain't nobody see that one though.
Bro, listen, as somebody who does it, I respected a level of detail to look at true side by sides and put them together to show that he had the middle backer blitz traits. I could talk about you all day, Vach, because it was a couple of times you just like my other memory of you, big dog, was when you was going up, not really going up against, but you was making your case for Pitts, and you was sitting with those insiders. It was Katie Drummond, it was somebody else, and they kind of hit you on the spot. They said if you say Pitts can get to Dallas, you don't know what you talking about. You was chilling. But then Vach made his case, and it was impeccable. And I just felt the independence. I was like, see, boys don't understand the work these boys put in, because he was so ready for it. He was like, come on, big dog. I can tell you how you gonna get the 10. And then obviously my big brother Law. I mean that when I say big brother. Getting closer to you, dog, I really learned a lot about you, bro, in terms of your integrity, in terms of your way to give back to the community. And then it even shocked me when you told me that a lot of the things that you taught me, Mark Holmes taught you. So you never even took the credit from best practices that you learned from another vet. That's why I wanted to start with the vets. And then Big Game James, what I love about you, big dog, is the fact that you are unapologetically go tell what you think. You're not scared to say what you think. We need that in this community. We don't need a bunch of Kool-Aid drinkers. We need people that's gonna say what they see. We need that side. Some people call it negative. I honestly say they can kiss my ass, because I want people that's gonna tell me straight up what they think and don't sugarcoat shit. And that's who you are. Rome, I definitely gotta admire you, big dog. You the walking definition of work hard, smarter, not harder. I love the way that you really have a great humility, big dog. Where I see why you have great growth, dog, because you relate like a mother effer to your people. You're not above your people. You don't talk over your people. You treat people respect, and you don't act like no hoe at the same time. So it's like the balance that I see that you bring to your channel. It's crazy. And then Mark Holmes, listen, I'm gonna say this about you. I've never been a bopper, but it's just amazing that you was the guy that I watched more than anybody when I went in the game. Wow. Just your content stayed on my recommended, and I would turn you on to get my daily bread, big dog. So I just want to say, man, just to be with y'all, the vets, just starting with the vets. Bro, I really do feel honored and appreciative for everybody, man. I just want to say that now to the new booty boys. Well, actually, the new booty, the new booty was wrong. New booty was wrong. I just went to it early. The new booty boys, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, me and Ron started the same year, bro.
You definitely new booty, Ron. Ron, you new booty, big dog. So you ain't no vet, homie. But BJ Nix,
you gotta get a new nickname, dog. Be different.
Yeah, no, you ain't new booty.
Hey, it's better than stank booty. Okay.
Let me try to think of all right, I'm gonna say the I don't know what to call you, new booties. So I say this, BJ, bro, the way that you organize and the way that you really have a good understanding and you work. Like when I talk about people that don't work, those are the people that piss me off in the industry. It's people that wing it. I hate you, muff. I hate them. See, it's one thing I know about BJ. I can say this about BJ. I can look you dead in your eye. I can say this. He go research. And he go research all avenues. It's gonna be the punter, the kicker. It's gonna be the third goddamn linebacker. If we talking about the draft and we talking about pick 400, he gonna be right there with you. He don't do this for money. I think he crazy for that. You got to get paid. You bad for the goddamn business because you got to get paid for this, big dog. You need to grow up on that level. Like, goddamn, homie. Like, we all got to get paid to do this. But I'm gonna just say, but in knowledge, you somebody that I can turn on, I can listen to. You know what I'm saying? And I listen for knowledge. I don't listen for fluff. I don't listen for bullshit. I listen to get something out of it so that I can bring it back to my channel and bring it back to the community. Tough.
Appreciate that.
The last new booty. Bro, you
Wait a minute.
special as hell.
You gotta
bro.
call him something different.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Young gun.
Young Guns or something.
Okay,
Rookie Neo or something. Come on.
All right, I'm gonna think of something. I'm gonna call him Young
Apprentice.
Jedi.
The
Okay,
apprentices,
the
man.
young Jedis, the young
Call him
Jedi.
Tuck.
Yeah.
Call him J-Tuck.
Yeah, J Tuck. Yeah, just call him by his name.
Call
So
him
J Tuck,
Bruh.
J Tuck, bro. You special. And see, I ain't gotta prepare for this because this is what I feel about all y'all. You special, dog, because who the hell could pull this off? I've been watching YouTube for 10 years. I ain't never seen nobody develop the relationships with all us political assholes because we are, bro. We can be cliquish, we can be standoffish, we can be competitive, and you able to navigate through all that to bring this together, big dog. That's quarterback shit. That's Dak shit. You know what I'm saying? And I just really appreciate it. And it's and I know this because it's who you are. It's stuff that I needed for my channel. And Tuck will be like, I got you. I said, man, how you get them 22? Ain't nobody tell me. Tuck did. You know what I'm saying? Tuck, goddamn, man, how you get this? Here it is. Like he lives to the heart. What's the word? Shit.
Not new booty.
No. Collabing. You collab king. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate your character, dude. I really do. And then Sky. Sky is the best in the game. You know, Sky's the best in the game. He's rising real fast. And when I say that, that's not an insult to all you guys. What I mean by that is I've never seen somebody put it all together so fast. That's what I mean by that. No insult to all you guys, but he put it together real fast. And I feel like he put all of it together as I'm just kind of just giving everybody what my thoughts are. And I just love to see it, man, just to see everybody push each other and get better. And then we came together. And I can't wait to do this again. And I would never take this long to give y'all my thoughts. Now y'all know how I feel about you.
Yeah.
You
Cheers, man.
For real, I'm gonna say my piece so I can get up out of here. It's my mom's birthday, so I can get up out of here. Hey man,
Happy birthday to Mama West.
Birthday to moms, man.
Yeah, happy birthday to Mom.
Hey, shout out to my boy Tuck. Shout out to my boy Tuck. You said this was Dak shit. This is more like Will McClay stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Real.
Dak just play with who put him on the field. You know what I'm saying? Will McClay be actually out here, you know, hey man, how you doing on them phone calls? I'm good, man. You good, man? Like I'm gonna tell you, like Tuck's so good. Tuck didn't even tell me all y'all guys was on here until I said yes. That's how smooth Tuck is. Like Tuck was strategic. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to get, and also so salute to Tuck for doing that, man. Salute for my boy Boss Cowboy. I want to say salute to both of y'all together because you guys know that I am a professional loner. Like I value doing as much content on my channel by myself. That's just what it is. Like, but I love Boss Cowboy enough to tell me that, brother, you have stomped your growth on certain platforms because you refuse to do content with people, right? Yeah. So I appreciate that, man, for loving me enough to tell me to, stop tripping. And I appreciate you for that. You know what I'm saying? So salute on that. My boy Vach, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, Vach. You already know, and like there be times I disagree with Vach, and I be want to say I don't even like Vach, but on the low I be watching his content. So I want to be a real dude. So I gotta be like, I love Vach because I watch too much. You know what I'm saying? Vach him and Law Nation are cheat codes, and I literally have gotten to the point like I used to tell myself like, I'm a player comes out, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but then I realized, man, like God didn't make a 007s. Like he's good at what he does, so use him for what he does, and then he'll do it backwards. So I literally start telling folks, look, man, I know we just signed some kicker from Samabala Duop State. I promise you, go to Vach right now, go to Law Nation, they will have a film on both of them dudes. You know what I'm saying? Right. Whoever you like, you'll be able to come together and do it like that. You feel me? So I salute Vach for always being consistent. You know what I'm saying? Being consistent, man. You were ridiculously consistent. And man, I just, for representing Cowboys and mainstream, salute to you. Law, man, Law, me and I didn't know Law a long time. One thing I like about Law is real, man, is my boy Boss told me this, and this is one of the real thing I ever known in my life. He said people that you're gonna have long relationships and great friendships with, you gonna thunder and you gonna have wars with these folks.
You gonna fight them.
You gonna fight them. That's what he actually told me. He said you gonna fight them. You
Yep.
gonna fight them. That's what
Facts.
you're gonna do. He was like, because brothers are born for adversity, and that's what the Bible says. You feel me? Not trying to get all biblical, but that's what it says.
You gonna
And I'm
fight
gonna tell you, Law, bruh, a lot of people, I gotta stop saying this, but I was about to stop this cowboy content crap. You know what I'm saying? After that 49er game, my feelings was hurt, bro. Like my feelings was hurt. But I'm gonna be honest with you, Law. Your consistency motivated me to just do content, bro.
For real.
Like every day I got an alert. I'm like, then it got to the point where I log on my computer, right? And it'll tell me when you last dropped. And I'm like, bro, I dropped one video, Laws at 3 already, bro. Come on, man. So it's like you know, God really used you as conviction. He really used you as conviction, man. So I appreciate you, bro. Your work ethic, man. I appreciate your work ethic, man. It's awesome.
You, man.
BJ Nix, man, bro. BJ, you know I'm a man. I believe in. I don't want to say it, but you know I got a sponsor from a cannabis company out here, so I do a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? And he knows that I like to do a lot of smoking after 12, from like 12 to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. So he actually purposely has his spaces that long just for West Coast. And it's sometimes, and like literally, and I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you for that, man. I appreciate you for, you know, just giving me another avenue where I can just vent like a mug, because it'd be a lot of venting in them Twitter spaces. And and I appreciate you for that, man. Big Game James, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. If there's anybody in this game that I would say that's my twin, that's Big James, man. That's my boy, Big James, man. And I just appreciate you, brother. One thing I like about James, man, is like when I was first, I'm a type of dude where it's like I do better off of competition, off of people driving me and pushing me in directions. And man, you know, Big Games and G, I gotta shout out G too, man. You guys were really the ones that really told, you know, stepped it up and was like, man, yeah, you may have good content, but you need to also have good visual content and, you know, be aesthetically. So, you know, you guys, you know, I want to give you guys your love. You and G really, and y'all really started that whole, you know, graphics and all that other stuff, bro. Like, so, you know, that's not on, that's, you know, that's, you know, a long way from now, but I want to give y'all your love on that, man, because y'all was really the first person that I ever seen that was independent, that had a show that looked like ESPN, and I was like, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? So salute both of you guys. I know G's not here, but salute to you on that. Sky Steel, man, I know he's not here, but man, that's the young Skywalker. You know, one thing I like about Steel is man, Steel gonna be that, you know how you go, you go to the police station, you got to go do something, you see that one brother in the back, and you be like, wait, how you become a cop? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you, he be like, hey, don't tell nobody, but if you get pulled over, I got you, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's Steel. Steel is the one. They tried to weed us all out, but they let one through. You know what I'm saying? And Steel is gonna be the one to bust it through. So salute to him. My boy, not my boy, but OG, Mark Holmes, man. Salute to you, man. You already know, man. Like, you know, you can't. There's two people that I started watching getting into this. Is I don't even know if he does it anymore, but Shango, I don't know where he is in life, but shout out to Shango and Mark Holmes, man. Like, you know, Mark Holmes, you doing your thing, man. And I've always watched your content, always will watch your content. One thing I like about Mark Holmes is, man, you were the one that really allowed me to understand that, like, you're more, some people want to be personalities, some people want to be reporters, and like I liked your approach on how you were more like a personality. Like, you used to do the videos where you'd be drilling a hole, right? And in the middle of he'd be drilling. He'd be like, hey, how you doing? You think about Dak Prescott? And I love that, because that he encompassed, because like, think about this. 2-3 years later, now you're selling that same business back to the nation. So it's like it all intertwined. You know what I'm saying? And then Rome, man, I'm gonna tell you that I ain't gonna call you new booty or new or anything like that, man. I will say this, man. I will say this. I respect the hell out of your Twitter retweets. So anything you think that I say smart on Twitter, I would love if you share it. Continue to share it, because I appreciate you. My boy is killing it on Twitter, man. I think Twitter is a totally different place that I have not figured out. J Tuck has already told me twice to delete stuff, and I did, out of respect. I deleted it both times. But I'm gonna be honest with you, Rome. I watch the way you tweet and the way you do specifically on Twitter, and I mimic a lot of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. And the other day when I was, a couple of months back when I was talking to Boss about Twitter, he actually threw you a bone too and said the exact same thing. Like, you know, these are the things that Rome be doing. So you're definitely a pioneer on that Twitter thing, man, because 149 characters is not enough for me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Hey, well, I'm about to head up off here, so I'm gonna just kind of get mine. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, James.
I'm gonna be real quick. I'm not
Yeah,
going to
man.
all the individual. Can you hold on, bro? I'm gonna be in and out.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. Go ahead, James.
My bad.
I'm listening.
I'm not gonna give everybody the individual thing. You know what I'm saying? All I'm gonna say is this.
Why not?
I'm not doing that. Because I'm not doing that.
Drink the
That's why-
Kool-Aid.
That's
You
why.
know,
That's
James
why
keep
I
it
ain't
real.
doing it.
Y'all ain't getting
Nah,
no
I ain't doing
flowers.
that. I ain't doing all that. But I will say this. I love how Tuck really put this together. And all I'm saying, everything hasn't been great in this YouTube community. We haven't all got along. I know everybody has gave everybody their flowers, but everybody hasn't been gotten along in this community. We've had our back and forth, and I understand that has been real in this community. But I will definitely say this: that we haven't held no grudges.
Facts.
We
Real
haven't held the
men.
grudges and said, well, oh, he's on here, I ain't doing the show, or oh, he's doing this, I ain't doing this. I can appreciate how we all still have one mind on still coming to bring this content to the people. And we still, like West Coast said, we grown men. We ain't going to sit there and let little tiny things extinguish what the bigger picture is. So that's what I really appreciate. I appreciate everybody's grind. There's a lot of people that I looked up to that started this, that I looked up to after, and I still look up to. So it's just really good to see everybody here, listen to everybody's opinion, and really just see everybody's channel just growing. I really love seeing everybody's channel grow, stepping out. We've really done a lot to this community, man. We've done a lot to this YouTube community. We started a lot of things, fellas, and that's what I really feel good about. We broken down and kicked down doors out this thing, and we really made it possible for the people that are coming behind us. We made it easier for them. You feel me? We made it a lot easier for them to come into the system and say, well, dang, I don't have to worry about this and that. Is because we knocked out a lot of doors, and I really appreciate you guys for doing that. And I really love y'all for that. And I just want to see y'all continue to be number one in these streets, continue to kill that Cowboys community stuff. And I'm going to just continue to support you from here on out. Always will and always be here.
Amen.
I got to get us to him.
Now, see, James, on that point though, bro, because I was thinking about this too. Like we was in that group chat, right? We was in the DM or whatever, right? And like me and James done bump heads 40 times. Me and Boss maybe once, me and Tyson maybe like once, me and Mark, whatever. But like at the end of the day, bro, like we all in the same kind of shit though. You know, we all in the same situation. But after you bump heads with James, we have a phone call, we hash it out, and we do a show with Law out of Oxnard or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Talk to Boss. Hey, let me just call you on the phone, hash your shit out real quick. Let me talk to Tyson. Mark was my very first, you know what I'm saying, was the very first fight I ever had. You know what I'm saying? I was drafted. I was draft guy trying to find my way as draft guy on YouTube. And the only thing that I just kept saying to my people was, I wish I could be Cowboy dude. I wish I could talk Cowboy content. I was getting love from Browns fans and Jags fans, but I was like, fuck y'all. I want to do content for my people. Then Law found me, which is why he's my OG always. I always tell people that. But one day it was me, Law, Foots, maybe Joe or something. Then Mark came in. And me and Mark disagreed over, like, I don't know, like Jason Witten or something. And then Mark said this. Mark said, well, you know what, young buck? You can come on my show and we can debate about it. And look, Mark can tell you this. Mark didn't care nothing about that debate. Mark went, you know what I'm saying, built a house or something. But I was But listen, real talk, I was at my day job at my 12-hour hospital shift, and I was just writing notes all day. I was just pulling film off a Game Pass on my phone because all I wanted to do was just smoke Mark Holmes on this show. And I went on Mark, I smoked Mark Holmes on this show. But I'm grateful for that for two reasons. Because Mark put his arm around me and he fed me, and I built my Cowboy kind of base that way. You see what I'm saying? But the most important part is that after that, I shook hands with Mark. I shake hands with James, virtually shake hands with Boss, enticing, and at the end of the day, we just keeping each other sharp. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, Boss said earlier, it comes off cliquish. It may come off cliquish because I'm antisocial. Pardon me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm loud, but I'm antisocial. But at the end of the day, if it's something like this for this thing of ours that we doing, fuck yeah, let's jump on it, because ain't none of this shit too serious when we can't talk to each other. You know what I mean? So just like James, I ain't finna, you know what I mean? But just a big general shouts out to everybody, whether it be keep grinding, whether it be let's keep working, because we all in this shit for the same reason. I said on the social media the other day, we don't have to go mainstream because mainstream coming to us. You know what I'm saying? So we just gotta keep doing what we doing, keep our head down, keep grinding. We ain't gotta be different. I'm gonna keep cussing. Mario Kart still in my background, you know what I'm saying? And we pulling this shit off, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, regardless of what happened, let's just keep grinding, you know what I'm saying, as a unit. And you know what I mean, we just gonna keep stacking wins on wins, and you know what I'm saying, the greater good wins if we all win individually. And you know what I'm saying, it keeks stacking into each other. You feel me?
Yeah. Facts. We could have did defense. Hey, by the way, we could have did defense, y'all.
For real.
We could have done defense, y'all.
It would have been 4 hours.
I've got to get out of here because I'm trying to stay married. Okay, but let me just go ahead and just say just real quick piece. First of all, let me give a shout out to all of you guys, because you guys, as Law Nation would say, are nothing but the best. And I've had the pleasure of meeting almost all of you guys. Almost all of you. Rome, I haven't gotten a chance to meet you yet.
Nah, you're the only one I've met, Mark.
Wait, I met you? Where did we meet?
Mark, don't even remember meeting me. I met him at the
Redskins game.
Okay, then it's Knicks game. At which game? The Redskin game?
Oh, no.
That's right. Shit. You came to the
he was on that drink. He was on that drink.
Hey, Mark on celebrity on him. Mark that got celebrity on you.
He was
Mark that
saucy.
got celebrity.
Mark
I did meet you. No, I'm
I met Mark before on some brief stuff, but he got the real tuck in the 2016 draft in Chicago.
Right. Now see, here's
you got
cool.
the real tuck.
Let me first say thank you for taking the old guy to the club with you, okay? Because, you know, I'm that old guy. All the women are like, why is he here? Okay, I'm the old guy here. I feel like Papa Smurf with all of you guys, okay? So Jay Tuck, we met at the draft in 2016 in Chicago, okay, Chi-Town, and that's back when I was holding Joe Boo, and Joe Boo was interviewing me, and I'm going through Facebook trying to find that interview. I hope I can find that, and I appreciate you guys, you know, bringing me in here and everything else. I feel honored and humbled. As far as Vosh, I didn't know that you actually got in your feelings and mad about that.
I was a hungry young lion, man. I was hungry.
When I came to Dallas for that draft, I was just like, this guy is the real shit. The way you knew everything about I was just like, I would love to be able to partner with this guy, because all I have to do is wind him up and kick back and get out the way, because he knows his shit. Mm-hmm. He is freaking amazing, and it wasn't a surprise for me that you were working with Volume. In fact, I think Colin Cowherd better worry about keeping his job, because your ass might be taking his. I mean, seriously, he is that good. And if you want to make sure you keep Vosh happy, get some mambo sauce. You know, DC is mambo sauce. He loves that shit, okay? That will calm the savage beast.
Vosh ain't allowed your boy a Joy Taylor follow. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Joy Taylor Law has always been the best. And, you know, he's in fact, Law was one of the last people I saw before everything got locked down, because Law came through here. You know, we ended up doing a live stream from my house and stuff like that. You were really one of the last people that I got to see before shit got shut down. And the content that all of you guys bring together, this is what you guys all understand is, we all love the Dallas Cowboys and want to see them succeed. But when you're building a house, everybody has a little bit different ways of building something. And that's where people have a different point of view. Maybe it's a Dak, maybe it's a Romo, whatever. It doesn't matter, because in the end, you get the real deal right here. Not that made up bullshit shit that you get from ESPN and Fox and all that is made to be clickbait. Half of the reason why we all fight is because of the bullshit lines that we get from out there, where they're constantly telling you everything that happens with the Dallas Cowboys it's bullshit. It's not real. You know, you get Diggs having 11 interceptions. Now all of a sudden interceptions don't mean anything. Right. And that he's just asked, you know, receiver. I mean, excuse me, a cornerback. I understand. These guys are the real deal. And when they tell you something, you can believe it. my man Nix, I got to definitely work with you. You've got the voice. You've got that voice that's just like, boom, it's just out there. And my man Rome, you know, like I said,
What's wrong with my voice?
I remember now. You know, like I said, I'm old. I played teams. You know, my job was bust the wedge. So I've had a few concussions here, and my memory gets old. All right. So I appreciate everybody and salute.
Salute. I just wanted to say one thing real quick. I ain't gonna take up too much of your time because I know y'all ready to go. I appreciate y'all. As boss was saying, I'm a real humble dude. You know what I'm saying? I only you know, I respond as what I get. So, you know, you come be crazy, I can respond in kind. Other than that, though, I'm just a humble dude, man. I appreciate all of the personal conversations I've had with a couple of gentlemen from Tuck to Law Boss, Nix. You know what I'm saying? I've actually met Mark. I haven't met Vach before, but I want to share a small little quick story. The reason why I started doing YouTube was a video that Vach did. I think I've told Tuck about this before. Way back in the day, Vach made this video called This Thing of Ours. I feel like it's like over 2 years old. And he was talking about everybody in the Cowboys community and why he respected everybody sounded different. And he said, they don't need another Vach. You know what I'm saying? They don't need another Mark. They don't need another Law. You know what I'm saying? We all do our own thing. And at the time I said, I don't really feel like nobody sound like me. So I'm going to start making videos. I ain't really expected to catch like it did. So I'm real humbled that it did. But, you know what I'm saying? When you stuck in the house during COVID and you hear something like that, you know what I'm saying? You just turn the camera on and just kind of let it flow. And I appreciate the way I've come. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But yeah, man, this you might need to do a new video on This Thing of Ours because a lot has changed since you made that video. Some of the people you referenced back then, it's a lot of new faces. But that message that you put out there about everybody doing their thing to the best of their ability, it's better for the whole cause of the Cowboys rather than it being 10 Vaches. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of do you. So that's why I try and pride myself in just doing me and taking from y'all as far as respectfully learning things from y'all because y'all teach me stuff every day. Trust me. That's why I'm in y'all comments. But
appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Just hone what you're doing. Just hone what you're doing. So I appreciate y'all guys. Respect.
Amen.
No doubt, man. Hey, man, I didn't like this stream at all, man. I absolutely didn't like it, man. I loved it. You know, I was just seeing where we all got our independent voices, our independent thoughts, and being able to shake it together and put it out there to the Mecca for everyone to hear this, man, is a beautiful thing. And then just seeing what my guy Vach been doing, man. We from the same hometown of 24 to 25,000 population, and look what it's bringing out to the nation. I believe that we got more followers than anybody that we can actually look at in our hometown. And for us to just be viewed that way is remarkable, man, from a small town. And then for us to do the things that's unbelievable with this community is beyond me. And shout out to Shango, man, for giving me the bridge to do this. And setting the roadmap. And trust me, guys, man, Shango is in a good place right now, man. And I speak to him every other month. He's in a good spot. So shout out to Mark Holmes for also giving the blueprint of just grinding and hustling, man. Y'all know I work for the federal system, so we're not allowed to have certain things when I was working inside the building. I would sit back, literally watch Mark Holmes and Shango do their videos, and I sit there and say, man, one day when I get time, I'll do mine. But now I got nothing but time, and it's all from the blueprint of my guy, Mark Holmes, man. So I really appreciate you, man, and as well as with my guy, Boss Cowboy Sports and the OC, those guys, man, grinding, always hit me up saying, hey, Law, what about this? What about that? And being a listening ear, opening ear to all of this, man, and allow me to give feedback to them and watching them grow is remarkable. Let me not leave out Skywalker and Big Game James. Those two boys, the late night hype. Don't y'all know, man, that opened up so many alleyways to other people to start their platform, to do their thing. And Sky, man, just unbelievable with graphics, unbelievable with the foresight and the insight to give me access to if you guys look at my thumbnails, that was all through the training from Sky. He said you got to go to this site and pull this, and you got to put that together. So he elevated my thumbnail game. He elevated the microphone and everything that you guys see today. It was all through the hands of Sky. So shout out to him. He'll forever have a spot in my heart, just like Vach Lombardi, and as well as Big Game James, just being the guy that reached out to me, him and producer G, to have me on their shows and say, hey man, this dude right here, unbelievable voice. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best to come out there to rap and spit my mind, even though I'm wrong sometimes. But man, for those who sit there and watch and listen to me, it's unbelievable, man. There's spots in Dallas that I don't have to pay for to eat, man. There's spots in Dallas, and I'm not bragging, by the way, that if there's a drink, I don't even have to reach in my pocket. They say, put that hand down, Law. Don't you know who you are, man? Come on, man. It's all VIP. You know? I'm for real. Man. So shout out to them.
I'll be freeloading on that dude.
Yes, indeed. And shout out to my guy, man. Two drinks, man. Look. And these are nice places. The Omni there's nothing to sneeze at. I can go there and eat for free. Hey, shout out to you, man. Eddie. You know who you are, man. But
I'm with this guy.
I'm with him. So shout out to the community, man. Shout out to 105.3 The Fan, Cowboys.com, all of those guys. They know who they are. They reached out to me. And as well as Jay Tuck, man, I appreciate you, bro. You know, for assembling this together, man. And especially we needed this before going out there to Oxnard. So This was a perfect time for this, man. I really appreciate you. Nick, man, you see you in the corner with the beer gang. I appreciate you too, man. Doing your thing over there with the space community and on Twitter and everything. Hit me up, bro. I love this, man. And as well as Mr. Rome. I mean, every year we have a rookie of the year, and this is you and Jay Tuck, man. You guys coming out. I believe I'll listen to my guy Vach one day, and he said, man, both of y'all names kind of sound the same. You don't know if it's Cowboys fan talk or Cowboys fan, all of y'all sound the same. But, man, both of you guys came out, man, with some good energy, and I can't leave out Foots the King.
Yeah,
you know, Okoye, man. Oh my goodness, man. Look, Okoye was the first rookie of the year.
It's okay to talk about the people that's over here, though.
Yeah, Okoye, man, that dog, man, that boy. You know he came out talking about Dak Prescott and my guy Dez Bryant pulling the ball out of the sky. Dez not done yet, man. Y'all check that video out. I think it's got 3 million views by now. But man, all of this is for the love and the bettership of the nation, man. And I think that we got a long way to go. But baby, this is a beautiful mile that we stretching out because, man, we can look back and see where we started at and look how much we've grown. Man, there are literally bloggers and people that's on Twitter that take your voices, your thoughts, and echo it, right? So, and for us to be on multiple different platforms like my guy West Coast, man, we have different thoughts of opinions, but man, at the end of the day, we want the common goal for the Cowboys to lift up that Lombardi trophy. Man, I can't wait for that to happen. And this is this community. Think about this before I depart. We started the Eagles, the Washington, the Giants community based off the heartbeat of ours. You don't see Chargers communities out there. You don't see the Cardinals community. You see NFC East talk because we talk and they trying to keep up. They still looking up. They got neck muscles on they got stomach muscles on their neck because they want to be like us. But nobody is like the Dallas Cowboys. Think about that. There's not no Pittsburgh community. There's no Green Bay community. All of those communities, if you go back and look at their YouTube page, they started because of us. And they kind of try to emulate us, but we all know how that goes, Cowboy Nation. But shout out to them. I love seeing it.
Right.
Amen.
And like I said, before I let everyone go, man, first and foremost, I got to thank y'all, the community, everyone who watches all of our channels, donate, hits that notification bell. We appreciate y'all support because y'all keep us thriving. To be honest with you, there be times I'm like, I'm not going to drop no videos, but I got to do it for Cowboys community and for Cowboys Nation. And like, that's the reason why I really wanted to put this together. Like I said, this is part one. We're going to come back for part two, but we start camp tomorrow. Everybody get ready for season. And if y'all see us out there, subscribe to every channel. See us out there. Say what's up, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. So I want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged.
Amen.
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. Oh, shout out Cowboys Sports Report. I forgot to left them out, but shout out to them.
Amen.
Yeah.
The off season is now off.
Thank God.